Yes, people, and welcome to Rivals with your boy Ashmatic on Spurs Kings TV. Let's get straight into it. I'm gonna bring up my second in command, man like Toon Tactics. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Nope. I can see you. I can't hear you. Let me bring on. All right, it's going mad. I don't know what's going on with Toon, so let me take him out. Let me start again. Let me bring out my next guest, man like Preach.
Second in command, you get me?
Jeez. Hey, Preach, yeah? Say
Well,
with
go
full
on.
chest now, yeah?
Yeah, we're involved. Well, go on.
Yeah, good bro. We're here. We're gonna get into this, man. Let me bring out some other guests. I got a returnee. It's been a minute. No Enzo.
Evening, boys. How are we?
Evening. How you doing? You good?
Yeah, mate. I'm all good. All good.
Nice.
Into this, get some chat, man.
I hear it, man. We've also got Mitch. How you doing, bro?
Yo, what's going on? Good, Ash?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Big up. We've got a lot to talk about. Especially with your club, man. But also in the house, a new debutant, Olu.
What's up, man? What's up? I just want to say, why is it we using FA Cup for Arsenal? I mean, we got 3 league titles you're gonna pick for the picture. How you put the FA Cup, man? At least put the Emirates Cup or something else.
For the Emirates Cup. Hey.
It
Sorry,
needs a revamp for the new season, fam.
I let my admin know, innit? I let the admin know that.
No, big up everyone.
Big up. Let me see if is two back? No, two's not there yet. But anyway, let's start it, man. I don't know. I'm gonna react to the game that just happened real quick. Did anyone watch it first of all? Arsenal versus Palace.
Yeah, bits of
Bits and pieces, yeah? Bits and pieces. Ollie, did you watch it?
Yeah, I was bored, to be honest, man. It was a nothing game. To be fair, I thought we were gonna lose. It just feels like one of those things that Arsenal always do. Like a team needs to win the title or we lose at home. Like the story always.
Big up Toon Tactics TV just landed, bro. How you doing? You good?
I'm good. Someone tried to sabotage me. I don't know what it was, but we're here. We're here, baby.
Also, big up to the chat as well. I forgot to mention you guys. Big up
to the chat.
Spotlight Spurs, Destiny 5, and the rest of them, man. And for those listeners on Spotify, shout out you guys, man. Please make sure you hit a like and subscribe. But yeah, man. Ollie was saying it was a bore fest. It was boring. I call it Drawsonal. I expected Arsenal to just draw. They're draw specialists right now. They be drawing pure games, know what's going on. But I have a feeling that their focus is more on a certain European Cup. So I don't know, man. But let me bring in a guest. I want to hear everyone's thoughts on it, man.
Maybe we're getting on. I'll admit this. I've probably seen the game in parts or whatnot, but I don't know how you can call it a bore fest when there's been 4 goals scored and the Mateta chip over a goalkeeper. Maybe we're getting old. But look, I think it was. I'm not saying it was a firecracker of a game, but I think I think there was still some things to kind of talk. There was like shoots of quality in different areas as well.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe when I say ball first, I say from an Arsenal perspective, we just played horseshoe football and just try to keep the ball as much as possible. There was no impetus in our attacks. We got the goals, but we didn't really feel like we were.
Do you think then you lost the opportunity to keep yourself sharp then? Like, really stick it on Crystal Palace and then keep yourself sharp for it? Because it's hard to just switch off the game and then think, oh, PSG, we're going to switch on. We're going to get it right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think so. But to be honest, what's quite funny is that if you look at all the teams in the Champions League semi-final, we've either, apart from Barcelona, the past couple of games, we've either all drawn or lost. So Inter Milan lost today, 3-0 to AC Milan. We drew with Crystal Palace. PSG drew with Nantes yesterday. And Barcelona needed a last-minute goal on the weekend to win 1-0.
But you know what the common theme of all those teams is, though? They've won the Champions League, right? So why don't Arsenal be different? And
PSG have won their league already.
Right.
So they're resting players. They can afford to have players on the bench. They can afford to not do anything in it.
I don't know, man. It's annoying. To be fair, I thought we were going to lose that game because it felt like a typical.
You thought you were going to lose it? You thought you were going to lose it?
If you look at the last two, actually no, last season I guess we went to the final game. But if you think about the 2 Man City before that we lost, or one we lost, whatever it is, basically.
So I'm getting some feedback. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute everyone. Let me see who it is, man.
Sorry, Olu.
That's all right.
Let me all right, John, mute yourself for a second.
Yo.
Mute yourself for a second. Let me see if it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you, man. Yeah. He's got man's got the goal phone in the background.
Oh, man's got the priorities. You can see by the title. I've got no joy out of football, bruv. Look at the title. I get no joy out of football. I've got to watch the golf.
I've been there before.
I'm here right now. I'm here right now. No, so don't worry, I'm there with you, man.
Nah, I hear that.
Yeah, man. You know what? I want to ask this question because I didn't know if it was Saka was the reason why you lot beat Madrid, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? But obviously Saka came on today, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, man. It's a bit flat. So
Yeah.
big up yours. What do you think about that? Do you think like it was the system that beat Real Madrid?
I think it was Real Madrid's
Like
arrogance.
system? I don't
I
know.
think I think Real Madrid's arrogance was one thing, i.e., they just thought they could rock up without a system and play against a team that was drilled in. And of course, the free kicks changed everything. And then also, yeah, I'll give the system part of that sort of, yeah, the system caused that. And then of course individual brilliance as well. I think all those things came together. But to be honest, I think that game against Real Madrid was the perfect game for us in terms of the team and how they were playing in terms of being individuals. You saw against Crystal Palace today, a team which is a little bit more disciplined. We fall back into those sort of same patterns of play, which is quite tedious this season sometimes, and that's why we've drawn so many games.
Right.
It's tedious.
You haven't
big
got
up,
enough runners. Sorry, go on, Ash. Go
no, I
on.
was going
Sorry.
to say big up Yoms because Yoms has jumped in the show.
Big up, Jones.
Hope
I
you're
was just
good.
going to say they don't have really enough runners going either in behind or. I know Erdegaard gets a lot of blame for being non-creative, and I understand that. But when he's got eights that aren't really giving him options, and I watched him during the game a number of times trying to get passes on from his fullbacks a little bit quicker. His body was in the right angle, was ready for the half turn, and they'll just avoid doing it. Like it was ridiculous. He just, if you see him, it just got ridiculous for him, and therefore people complain about him dropping deep. They're not passing to him when he's in the danger zones. So that's why it's out of really frustration that you see him dropping deep and collecting the ball. So yeah, I see what Olu is saying, and I just don't know why. If you got those the centre backs that you do who are as good as they are, why they're just that level of risk of. I understand it if it was my centre backs, whether it's Shaw and Burn, who aren't as fast, obviously, and as athletic. I get it if we're that cautious. I just don't understand why Saliba and Kivior, Saliba in particular. But yeah,
That was a mad mix-up. Did anyone see the goals on the panel? Did anyone see the goals?
Yeah. I watched most of the game. It seemed like it was like a preseason friendly pace. No
Mhm.
one really wanted to go for it. It was such a slow game. Palace got a couple of good goals, but the pace overall was terrible. I thought.
The game was played like as if both teams have semi-finals on the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. It was exactly that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, if Mateta played in the first half instead of Nketiah, I think they'd have scored.
I
Nketiah
agree.
was
I
awful.
agree because I was looking at Nketiah and I was like, brother, your end product, your decision making.
isn't Nketiah a Premier League striker?
Oh, that's a good question.
He's got that David Nugent about him, isn't he?
He's got that. Don't you think it's a bit like Dwight Gale? I think it's like Dwight Gale about him.
David Nugent. I like that.
It's a throwback.
It's a throwback.
When he probably played for England as well, like those are hard times, bro.
How much did they pay for Nketiah?
30
30
million.
mil.
It's a robbery.
Listen, when we hustle, okay? We don't hustle all the time, but sometimes when we hustle.
Sometimes that Haaland tax hit hard, isn't it?
I hear it, man. Hey, no Enzo. What do you think about Arsenal this season? I haven't seen you for a minute, man. I wanted to get your take on how great or how ungreat you think Arsenal are at the moment.
I've really got an opinion on it, to be honest with you. Like every year they say they're going to win the league, they never do. Every year it's always, oh yeah, this is phase 6, this is phase 7, this is phase 8. It's like, come on, mate. The thing that gets me, they've won one FA Cup in 7 years. And it's like, they're always like, oh, like not they, I'm not generalising it, but a lot of Arsenal fans are like,
No, go on. I'm listening.
Olu sat up, man.
You started.
cannot wait to watch AFTV later.
Nah, you know what got to me? It was like, it's the years that everyone
Can't
always
wait for
pick. Everyone always pick the year where it's just one in that, right? They don't go one in like 3 in 10. They go 1 in 7. That's what hurts me. I'm like, come on, man, we got more than that. It's just the
I think
No,
it's
I know, but
Arteta reign. The Arteta reign is what they're talking about.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just like,
it's just like, and to be fair, the trophy Arteta won, he didn't actually win it. Emery's team won that.
Uh-oh.
oh no, okay.
Arteta's team
Okay.
didn't win that.
Couldn't be my manager. Couldn't be my manager.
You've triggered me. You've triggered me. You've triggered me. That's triggered me. That's triggered me. Wait, so
He came in and won a semi-final and a final.
wait. Let me trigger. Okay, first of all, he came in the third or fourth round, right? Secondly, that team was a mess. We were doing. Listen, our captain was doing balloons, right? Our captain was doing balloons. We're doing swag in the dressing room. It was an absolute mess. How he won that FA Cup, I don't even understand, right? He played 3-5-2 all the way to the final and stunk it out, and then won because of Aubameyang's obviously class, right? But also as well, if we say that, then I'm not going to give Slot any credit for this title because it's Klopp's team, right? And we can play that game. And when Tuchel won the Champions League, it was Lampard's team, right? And we could keep playing this game of whose team it was.
Yeah,
I don't
but the
like
point
the
is,
It's not a game. I don't mind Klopp having two Premier League.
That's crazy,
I don't
preacher. How
mind.
can you say that? That's
No, I'm
mad,
saying
man.
if we're going to play this game, I
Oh,
don't mind
okay.
having two
That's what
Premier
I'm saying.
Leagues. You don't want Emery to have the FA Cup.
No, it's not that. It's not that. I just don't like the narrative because I think
Yeah,
it's
no, I'm
lazy.
playing around, but I'm just saying it doesn't work for Liverpool because it's either Slot or Klopp, and we're happy with both.
the thing is, the point is, the question was like about Arsenal. It's just like it's the same thing every year. It's like tons and tons of promise, like, and it just never delivers. Like I say, I haven't got a dog in the fight. I don't really care. I don't care if Arsenal finish second, first, 19th. I'd rather they finish 19th, but I don't care where Arsenal finish. It doesn't really matter to me. But I just think years and years of Arteta's going to do it next year. He's going to do it next year. He's going to do it next year. Like how many pages his calendar got before sort of like the last page is ripped off?
Hey, let's talk about it though, innit? Like, hey, Ollie, what is your expectation for like Arteta? If you don't win Champs League, how are you feeling about Arteta like for next season? Because that means you would have won nothing.
I don't. It's a hard question. Okay, my logical brain says, listen, he's made Arsenal a hard team to beat. I'm not saying we win every game. I don't say we never lose. I'm just saying that most of the times Arsenal don't actually get beat that much. And if I say that logically and go, actually, can you set a team that doesn't lose a lot? You say you want to keep a manager that can do that. But at the same time, it feels like I'm watching a washing machine just go round and round in circles. You know what I mean? It's the same thing every year now.
So you're agreeing with Noah Zolan?
I'm somewhere in between. Like, obviously,
The thing is, is there going to be a trophy parade for Arsenal? Do it like not being hard to beat. There is going to be one.
3 games time.
But the point is, that's what I'm trying to make.
Oh,
I mean, how many years is it going to be before we go? That's it.
3 games time. I've booked my flight to Munich. 3 games time.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Go by faith. That's right.
Okay. Oh,
If it don't happen, you still get to enjoy Germany. If it don't happen, you still get to enjoy Germany. So it's all right.
Munich is nice up in there.
that's coming here as well.
I went Munich in 2012. We won it. Just saying.
I think Arsenal get and I'm not saying Lorenzo's doing this, but in general, I feel like Arsenal get a really bad rep. I feel like when we're talking about, like, especially when we're kind of analysing Arsenal, I feel like because of the overwhelming banter you get on social media, we can't really critically give Arsenal a proper objective view sometimes. So, like, every time, like, for instance, when they finished 4th, nobody expected them to finish 4th. They went over and above expectations. When they finished 2nd, no one expected to finish them 2nd, and they actually challenged a little bit. They went over and above expectations.
I hear that.
You're painting.
Go on, Yoms, go on.
I was gonna say, Toon, you're painting a really nice picture, bro. Like, let's not pretend we don't. Olu, I don't. Look, pleasure. First part of my name's Olu as well. Big up.
Oh, Nigerian friends.
Super Eagles are gonna do it. You know how it is.
Gang.
But let's be real, right? Olu sounds level-headed. We know Chinks is level-headed as well.
Yeah.
Most Arsenal fans are Stefan. That's why they get a raw deal.
Yeah.
That's just most Arsenal. Arsenal get a raw deal because they're fans.
Okay, so let's speak objectively.
Celebrate mediocrity like as if it is
What-
a
but
badge of honor. Like,
so let's speak objectively then, because they have finished second in the toughest league in the world, I believe, and they've been now they've reached the Champions League final. They've
they're
got
too big for this. They're too big for this tune. They're too big. Do you know what Arsenal did? Right when it was Wenger days, they made it okay to not win. That's what Arsenal did. Every other big club, you win or bust. I don't care. There's no difference between coming second and coming 10th for a big club. Then it was Champions League top 4, and Arsenal made it the top 4 trophy. Now it's our second will do. Like, when you're a big club, you either win or you don't win.
But it's not second will do, and the times are different. Is Pep the modern day great in terms of the Premier League and Man City? If you agree, yes, then it's not just you're settling for second. You're competing against the best manager of the modern Premier League time.
Chelsea had to compete. Chelsea had to compete against Fergie. Fergie had to compete against Mourinho. Mourinho had to compete against Fergie. This is what happens. If you're going to say that because a manager's a great manager, it's okay to not win it. Like, there's always going to be great managers in the Premier League. It's the Premier League.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when City drop off, Arsenal have then got to go win it.
Yeah.
And then you've got Arteta. You've got Pep and Man City having a terrible season, but Pep's turned around and gone, well, I'm leaving with something, and he's now going for the FA Cup. Arsenal need to go and win stuff. They have to win something.
Liverpool have
Dude, we've won a trophy this season, bro.
So yes.
Like Arsenal still ain't won nothing. They're meant to be one of these big clubs that wins loads of stuff. When other clubs are picking up trophies, there's no excuse for them not to win the League Cup.
But I think Yoms is aiming at, I'm speaking for Yoms a little bit here, but I think Yoms is talking about Premier Leagues and Champions Leagues rather than League Cups and FA Cups when he's talking about big stuff and big clubs and stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong, Yoms.
But the truth is, there's two layers, right? I always say the FA Cup became more important when the Premier League became like so one-sided, right? Yeah. But the truth of the matter is, the Premier League has always either been, back in the day, right? It was United and then Arsenal will win one. United then Chelsea will win one. United and then Liverpool will win one, right? It's always been dominated by 2 or 3 teams. Do you get what I'm saying? So I get that that FA Cups matter and those kind of things, but really and truly, if you're gonna use the excuse of, well, it's Pep, then how comes Chelsea? How comes Liverpool? How comes Arsenal didn't use the excuse of, well, it was Fergie?
And maybe if I say this, we're gonna go full circle, because the managers that won those, Conte, Ancelotti for Chelsea, obviously Wenger for Arsenal, against Ferguson, if we're talking about Ferguson, obviously Jurgen Klopp. The key denominator then is Arteta, because he obviously Arsenal are his first club, and so therefore you can't judge. I can't match him up. It's like apples and bananas, kind of matching him up to those guys. Those guys have actually won leagues.
Yeah, so you're giving the reason. You're giving the reason why they haven't won it is you're saying he's inexperienced.
Yes,
but that's still the reason, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Let's look at
how why are Arsenal fans gassing it up every year then? Why are they gassing themselves up going, we're going to win it?
Let me tell you why. Because we had to watch Lichtsteiner, Mustafi, right? We had to watch what's in the class, what his name is, all those bum ass players play for us, right? And we used to believe we could win the league with those bums. So now that we've actually got a good team, that's the reason why we're gassed. It's because it was so bad at some point. I think a lot of Arsenal fans who didn't grow up. So I grew up in the 90s, right? Early 90s, late 90s, 2000. So I saw the pre-Wenger years, the Wenger years, the after Wenger got washed years. I think a lot of young fans who've never seen a good Arsenal team and had to watch those guys play have got themselves into a situation now where they're like, oh, actually, this is a good Arsenal team, so we're better than everyone else. When actually perspective is that you have to earn every league title you get. You earn every cup you go. You don't just automatically say, oh, I'm the best team, without actually going out there and proving it. And the reality is for Arteta is that as a manager, he hasn't really proven that he's the best, right? And he has to go and prove that he's the best by winning these trophies. So as much as we say these things, I think a lot of it is based around, like I said, we've been hurt a lot by having terrible players play for our team. But at the same time, we're having the fun of seeing a good team, a team that's able to challenge for once in a long time. So
Has
it's a little bit of that.
But Oli, according to Arsenal fans, you've never been terrible, and this is why. Going back to what Toon was saying, when you guys were terrible, when everybody else could see that you were terrible, you were still the best club in the world. You was at that point, you was the closest thing to Barcelona. I remember Arsenal telling us.
My friend,
think that now. That's what big clubs think, though.
Yeah, delusion is free.
Like,
I would say, like, if you look at the past, how teams that have come second have been treated, yeah. So like Oli, he came second, and look at the way he got treated. Even he came second his first season, came second when he finished. We were like, Oli, take the wheel. We want you to stay. We was taking the mick out of him. Second, but for some reason now, the last 2 seasons, second place has been mad glorified.
Yeah,
it's those things, and you know what, Olu, unfortunately for you, because from when I heard you speak, bro, you see Arsenal fans, the first paragraph they say, you can tell what kind of fan they are, bro. So as soon as you spoke, I was like, yeah, you're a cool Arsenal fan straight away. Unfortunately for people like you, you've already heard his name being mentioned. Yeah. There's there's less of you. The other guys are louder, are too loud. So we can only go for what's in front of you. As they say, you can only fight the man that's in front of you, really.
You're taking bare bullets.
And that plays a big part. But
I'm just washed now. That's why.
Yeah,
I'm old and washed.
And don't forget,
the things that you are glorifying have been done before by someone else, somewhere else, and didn't get the same glorification in it. So it's like, nah, mate.
And don't forget, we've seen this, what's happening this year. We've seen this with Arsenal before. Remember when Leicester won it? That was going to be Arsenal's year because everybody was in a rebuild. Nobody was really competing. Arsenal were going to win it this year. And then Leicester win it. This year, at the beginning of the season, Klopp's gone. Nobody saw City sinking in the way City sank. City are sinking now. Like, this is going to be Arsenal's. United are terrible. Chelsea are terrible. This is going to be Arsenal's year. We've seen this movie, and this is what I think No Enzo was coming to. We've seen this pause. We've seen this movie before.
You've hurt me, you know that. You know why you hurt me? You mentioned that Leicester season, and I remember also got to 19 assists by January, and everyone was like, he's going to kill it. He got 0 assists to the end of the season that year. He got stuck on 19.
You know, even that season, yeah, it's wild. You wasn't expected to win,
right?
Like all it was that the best had fallen off. It wasn't like the season before. Everyone was like, he was on a good run, and that's the only thing. That season, Leicester won it, and they were just a form team, innit?
But Preach, I want to explore this talk. He said he's getting to the final. I don't know how I skip past that. I was like, I like this Arsenal fan. I like this Olu. I kind of want to dive into that.
I said I'm going to Munich. I said I was going to the final. Come on, I might be going for work.
He also didn't say Arsenal would be there. Olu's just going to Munich by himself, bro.
Okay. So my bad. I
just going as a neutral to watch a good game of football. That's all it was.
He's smart. He's a smart.
Now, Olu, you're my. Listen, sorry. I apologize. I misread.
Actually, I didn't go to the final, mate. He's a German exchange student.
my real name is Gunther.
Olu, just a quick one though. Serious question. Last year, you lost the title by what, a point?
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, it was by what, 3 or 4 points?
It was 6
points.
points.
The season before, they lost it by a point.
Yeah, last year was a point. The year before, 6 points.
Last year was a point, and the season before, you lost by like 3 or 4 points, didn't you?
Yeah.
Against arguably the best team the Premier League's ever seen, yeah? So is this a worse season for Arteta this year, even though you've got to the Champions League final, that you're going to lose the league by like 12 points to a team that are a great side, but they're not Man City? Not yet.
Yeah,
They're a team that's won the league, though. Just remember that.
Yeah, but you're not Man City yet. You're not that Man City. Win it 3 or 4 times and you're that Man City. That's the point I'm trying to make. Like, they've gone close 2 seasons on the bounce against that side, and yet they've fallen off so badly that they're now 12 points behind Liverpool this year. So is it a worse season this year?
Can't really. They said because it's their first season winning the title, they can't really put themselves up that level yet. They have kind of
No, what I'm saying though is that Man City won 4 on the bounce. They won the triple. They won the triple. They won everything. And yet this year they're 12 points behind Liverpool in their first season under Slot. Is it a worse season this year?
Yeah, it's worse because I think that this Liverpool team is not as dominant as the one in 18-19 when you won the league. Like, this Liverpool team is quote unquote more gettable, and the fact that we've drawn so many games just shows, like, whether it's a mentality issue, whether it's a tactical issue, the fact that we couldn't keep up with. Look, I know that sounds bad. The fact that this Liverpool team came from what happened last year with them and turned it around and we couldn't keep up with them shows that obviously we've regressed, because even if you're not going to win it, you want to stay close to the team that's going to win the title. And 12 points, which is what, 4 games? That's a 4-game swing. That is bad.
I disagree. You had Saka out for 3 or 4 months, Odegaard out, and I think rather than Arsenal regressing, Liverpool just got better. I think Liverpool have been so, like, people been cussing Liverpool like they ain't nothing. They got 5 world-class players. They got a very, very good squad, rotational squad. They're just head and shoulders above everybody else, and people find it hard to accept because they haven't got fancy names. They got guys like Soberslai and stuff like that. And people keep on mocking.
That is a fancy name that's got 2 Z's in it.
Well, that's what we first said.
Yeah, to be fair, that's about as fancy as it gets.
I chose the wrong name. I
don't like that because in the end, like, at the start of the season, you decide what your 25-man team is, right? So the fact that we have Raheem Sterling as the backup to Saka says a lot about us. So injuries or not, it's not, for me, injuries not an excuse. Next man up, right? You can always watch basketball. Next man up.
Excuse, say it again.
Not an excuse. Next man up. So it's like, for me, it's like we decided to plan with the squad that we had, and the injuries happened, and we didn't adapt to it. That's our fault.
Who did you buy in that transfer window?
Marino
Sterling.
and Marino.
Sterling.
You could have Sterling back for free. I will ship him back.
You're all right.
now.
I drove him to your ground. I'm not bringing him back, bruv. Nah.
Was it in that summer transfer? You only bought Marino and Sterling.
No, Marino, Sterling, and Calafiori.
Calafiori.
So
And
that's
do you know what? I think
director.
one thing that gets overlooked as well, just to kind of back up Toon's point, is that Salah somehow got better.
Right.
Yeah.
He somehow upped the levels from the levels that he was already at. So I think both things can be true in that Arsenal just didn't have the squad prepared to go and challenge at that level, and then Liverpool somehow got better.
Let's change. Can we change the narrative here?
No, we're solving it. Go on. I was going to say, we're solving it next year. We're solving it next year. I'm sending a Christmas tree in August to Salah's house. We're starting early. We're starting that drop off of form real early. I'm sending that Christmas tree, and he's taking a picture in front of that Christmas tree in August. I'm telling you, I'm using all the judge.
But game week 34 to game week 34, Arsenal were 10 points down on where they were this time last season. And Liverpool are only 4 points up from where they were this point this season. So it hasn't been that big of a swing.
You see this Liverpool thing here.
The mental thing for Arsenal.
It wasn't a rebuild with Liverpool. That's what you've got to understand as well. It was just strengthening certain areas for Liverpool.
At the beginning of the season.
Yeah. So this thing about, like, Liverpool so happened to, like, it was already in place. It was just some weak spots. So it wasn't like a miracle what we needed to fix. You know what I'm saying? The core of the team, the midfield, get some younger players that can run up and down, skillful. Dan McAllister, and then you just saw us really just going back to where we was. Yeah. Instead of that kind of, we fell. So I think, and that's why a lot of
Soberslai improved, Salah improved, all those guys improved. They just got better.
Yeah. And then you've got to think with a lot of Arsenal fans, because you lot are loud, what you lot say seems to, like, have a print on the football society. So you see like how you lot just talk about the last 2 years. Now everyone just talks about the last 2 years. And that's just because Arsenal fans, that's what they need just to be there. But if you do 5 years, then technically what you see this season is not a surprise for Liverpool.
Damn.
Thing is, you're saying about like Liverpool this year, blah blah blah, saying the other. Is that not due to the manager that he's made great players better?
Yes.
But
What I'm saying.
wait, hold on. Are we saying then Slot's done a better job than Klopp? Is that what we're saying?
No, because it's
can't say that after a year.
It's the spine players, isn't it? It's Klopp's players.
You can't say that after a year, Ash. Give it 3 or 4 years and then make that call. You can't do it after a year. But the fact that he's made Salah a better player, I think he's made Van Dijk a better player.
Yo, Ash, you're a bastard for that question. That is a horrid question.
That's a horrible question, though.
No, again, we talk about it ourselves. It's a totally different tactic.
Yeah,
Ash, I'm putting you forward for them man that ask horrible questions when the manager loses a game.
I think you gotta give the Liverpool board credit. I think Slot is standing on the shoulders of a giant. So Jurgen Klopp planted it, watered it, and Slot helped it grow essentially. And that's what it was. It's about getting the right leadership, and it's been an incredible kind of, what's the word to say, a succession. It was just a really good succession.
I just think Slot has improved Salah. I'd be dead real from what I'm seeing.
I think he's improved Van Dijk. I think he's made Van Dijk a better player.
Me too.
I don't think he's improved them. He's just giving them a bit more support. Klopp was just too much openness with Klopp.
They can control the tempo of a game.
You can see the structure. The structure's a lot more there.
I agree.
We've got more of a say on how we're attacking instead of just like kick the ball down there and someone make sure you're up there.
Yeah. I don't know.
It seems like Klopp wouldn't mind winning a game 7-5.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas Slot's more of a no. I don't want to concede goals. We're going to score. We've got players that will score. I don't want to concede too many goals.
I kind of disagree. Though. I mean, that season between Liverpool. I know it's not the same players, but Liverpool winning Champions League and a league. Those teams that finished 1 point behind Man City when Man City got 100 points. So here's the service we do to Liverpool. We forget how close Liverpool were each time to Man City every time they won the league.
Very true.
I think that Liverpool team steamrolls this Liverpool team because the way they could just choke a game out in terms of pace, power, and just suffocating. Like, I remember Arsenal will play them, and I'll be like, we can't breathe.
But also, Oludo, that Liverpool team had better players.
I know, I'm saying.
This is even more, for me, this is even more of an achievement. Because that front three that they had of Salah, Mane, and Firmino, that front three was electrifying.
And the midfield as well. Henderson, Fabinho. Henderson had legs those days as well.
Yeah. Gini as well.
I think if we had Henderson in this team here, he would get exposed.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. He's different, but I know what you mean. Like, it's a different.
He was used rightly with Klopp, like the screwdriver for the screw.
Yeah.
You get kind of thing. It was just right. Engine, motivation, spirit.
Yeah.
And don't stop up and down.
And we don't really know. I think we don't fully know how good this Liverpool team is just yet. Because had Arsenal been closer, say they're 2-3 points off now, I don't think. I think Liverpool keep their foot right. I don't think they're beating Leicester 1-0. I think they're doing them in 4-0. I think the mentality is very different. So,
and I think that's English football in general. You know, that mentality. I think Arsenal. I think it showed today with Arsenal. Just like when there's nothing to play for. You
drop back a bit.
And it's all over. I've seen Virgil do it in game. Like we, who was it against? I can't remember right now, but we was winning. I think it was the Spurs. We was winning, and then we
everyone beat Spurs.
Just locked, but we just locked off. Like I feel like it's an English thing where when there's nothing to play for, you just kind of sit. Yeah, you don't give it that much. That's how I feel anyway. So like just to support what Toon was saying, because Liverpool haven't had that challenge, you haven't seen them go into that gear. Even when we was chasing City, you saw that gear. Or when City was chasing us, you saw that gear. Like,
All
we
right,
haven't really had that.
all right. So they've taken their foot off the gas in the league, but coming back to Champions League, does anyone on the panel think they beat PSG for a second time round?
Yeah.
Or is it a different PSG? Because the
No.
one who played the first group in the group stage never had. I think it was Kvaratskhelia wasn't there. I think Fabian Ruiz wasn't playing. I think they had Canning Lee in the middle, so it was like a slightly different. And obviously they hadn't had form then as well. They weren't really at the PSG that we've come to love now. Do you know what I mean?
Arsenal don't make this PSG side.
Does Arteta do a masterclass and do them over? Like, what are you saying?
I think Arsenal beat
Arsenal
PSG.
do.
You know, the only I just can't see them beating Inter. And I
But
can't
if
see
they
them
beat Barcelona, you're saying they will win the Champions League.
I can't see them beating Barca or Inter, but I see them getting to the final. I can see them beating PSG. I don't think this PSG team have enough defensively to cope with Arsenal.
Is
I
it
think,
because of what happened against Aston Villa? Is that what you're saying? That, or do you have other evidence to suggest that?
in honesty, mainly what happened against Villa. But this PSG is a very attacking outfit, and I just think that Arsenal have enough defensively.
Does anyone think though against that Villa game that there was a point in the game where I think Enrique underestimated Aston Villa, and some of the players thought they had the game won, you know, because obviously they were, I don't know, team aggregate, but Villa kept pushing back, and you know, that's why they were so open.
Yeah. They had the game won and took their foot off the gas for me, and then Villa just came storming back into it. They got the first goal. They got their first goal, and then the crowd got back into it, and then PSG couldn't pick it back up again. For me, I thought they just assumed they had the game won, and then Villa came from nowhere.
Yeah.
Where's the first game?
Emirates. So do you think you need to get a big enough lead against PSG, or do you think you could just nick a 1-0 and be fine, like a 1-0 and take it?
I think it's going to be 2-0. I think it's going to be 2-0. That's why I don't think it's going to be.
I don't think you keep PSG out of both legs. I think PSG scoring both legs of that game.
Do you know? So the thing about PSG is that watching them again, the only barometer I've got really, I don't really watch them that well, is the Aston Villa game and the Arsenal game. I think the Arsenal game they had more control than we did. But one thing and then the Villa game, one thing I realized is that if you increase the pace against them, even though they're very technical, they don't like the pace. They want actually in their own pace, not a really fast pace. So even when Liverpool played them, and that's another one against in the first half against at Anfield, when you guys actually were just blitzing them with the Anfield crowd, they looked more shaky. And it's when they slowed the game down and then brought it to their pace, they started to get more control. So I think that actually, I think we're going to win 2-0. But I think the job for Arsenal is to play faster. And that's what frustrates me about today, is that we play so slow. And I'm hoping that that's more, like you said, we've taken the eyes off the ball in the Premier League, as opposed to that's the tactical plan going into the PSG game. Because if we play at their pace, I don't think we get near them.
All right, cool. We're going to do a quick switch. Go on.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I feel like if Arsenal win, it's going to be by penalties, You got to remember as well, Liverpool PSG, the pressure that they put on Liverpool was immense. Now, that's a big game. I feel like mentally they've dropped because it's Villa. It was expected for them to go through. Arsenal will be deemed as a big game. The talk, media, all of that's going to get hyped here. And you lot ain't got an Alisson, because Alisson saved us, bruv. Now you have to be the best keeper in the world. So I see PSG winning that one, clearly, but I can also see Arsenal winning it, but it'll be by penalties, just because it's a tight game and you just drown them out. That would be the only way. But I don't see you outplaying them. Not from this experience from last time. Big game, big names, big occasion, all eyes on us. They show up like that.
The thing is, when Arsenal play PSG in the group stages, PSG hadn't signed Kvaratskhelia.
That's what I said.
Kvaratskhelia is a completely different kettle of fish.
An animal.
Completely different. If you watch him on the rego, that geezer is an absolute joke for a footballer.
Yeah,
I'm not even basing it on the last time they played.
we've got Timber. We've got the lockdown penitentiary and Timber right there, man. We're gonna put Timber next to him and say, you know what? That's your man. Lock him
All I'm
down.
going to say to that is he's going down, and I'm yelling Timber.
That's how I see you
Australians
winning.
stopping him.
That's how I can see you winning it. Oh, that's the truth.
Hey, I want to switch to Chelsea real quick before Enzo.
I don't.
Man. Yeah. Come on, man. We're here now.
Yeah,
We
thank
can
you.
talk
Yeah,
about Arsenal.
45 minutes of me getting grilled, man. Jesus Christ, man.
No,
Hello,
listen,
it's the same on every time.
Therapy for us, man.
Let's go get it. Newcastle go get it.
Don't get to talk about Arsenal much without getting.
Someone in the comments asked a crazy question about Isak. We'll come back to it in a minute, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, I saw something today that he's staying in it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like, I don't know. I didn't check the source, but
I've got to talk about the Man United media propaganda as well in a moment.
The source was Toon, bro. That was the source.
Yeah, man. I want to talk about Chelsea a little piece. Like, obviously, Chelsea, you're saying no Enzo, innit? So I want to talk about that, man. What does that mean?
Which one?
Yeah, we talking Fernandes or Maresca?
Manager.
Oh, I was thinking about Fernandes. I was thinking about Fernandes.
No, the manager.
He's Enzo.
He's only been there 2 minutes.
He's rescued out. He's rescued out.
It's Chelsea, man. It's Chelsea.
Talk on it, man. Why are you rescued out?
I've got reasons why I'm not having him.
Go on.
Number one, me and Ash were talking before we come on live, and I was saying he's not improved one player at Chelsea. Well, he's improved one player, and that's Enzo Fernandes. He's not improved anybody else at Chelsea. And like his tactics are so negative. The game against Tottenham, we're 1-up, we are bossing the game, and with 10 minutes to go, he goes, "What are we going to do? We're going to take off every bit of firepower that we've got," which, by the way, isn't a lot. So for Olu to moan at a 2-2 draw tonight is scandalous, because I'd love to see 4 goals at Stamford Bridge, bro. Anyway,
My bad.
we're 1-up. We tend to go against Tottenham, a bad Tottenham side as well. No disrespect, Ash, but you're not good.
Yeah,
Bad Tottenham side.
No offense taken.
No disrespect, and then just
why he's done it.
disrespect straight after.
He goes to 5 at the back. And for the last 2 minutes, Tottenham push for an equaliser. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you changing it to 5 at the back? Like, he doesn't know his best formation.
If he had a better defense, do you think he does that? If he had a better defense, do you think he does that?
Yeah, maybe he doesn't trust his defense.
Yeah, I think you got to cut him a little bit of slack, no, Enzo, man. Because look, the guy walked into a club where man was getting dressed in the hallway, bro.
No, but he
had 100 players.
Into a club that won 11 games on the bounce at the end of last season. We had all the momentum at the end of last season.
Yeah. To be fair, I think it was a bit mad to sack Poch. I didn't understand that sacking. I thought it was.
I said to Ash before we started, if we kept Poch, we'd be challenging this year. Purely because the stand in this league is so bad this year. We'd have challenged this year. Simple as.
It was a bit of a weird one. But having all he can do is take the job that's offered to him, right? And having walked into the club with that amount of players on 10-year contracts, 9-year contracts, big salaries, all of that kind of stuff, I actually think he's done quite well.
But Yomes, why is Palmer not performed this season? Like, what's going on? Like, why is he not being the same Palmer that we saw last season?
He was until January.
The thing is, I think everybody looks to the manager when sometimes players, like everyone says, a manager has to improve players. But players have to also improve themselves. Like, these are grown men. Like, if you I can't turn up to work and say the reason I'm not performing at work is because my manager's not. What the hell? Like, football's the only thing that we do this in where we say a manager is responsible for a player's application and form. Cole might just not, like, he might just not be feeling what's going on at the moment.
But like, for what I'm seeing, he's asking Palmer to drop in that kind of deep midfield, isn't it? He's asking them to drop in the left back role, the centre back, to pick up the ball off the full back, off the centre back, and then do that job on top of what he's got to do offensively. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's got to dictate from deep, connect.
I hear that, Ash, but it wasn't so long ago before players did that. Like, Wayne Rooney will pick up the ball at the edge of his own. Carlos Tevez, it wasn't so long ago. Players just did what the manager asked them to do.
Could this be what Pep saw?
I was going to say this. I was going to say, maybe Cole Palmer is a freestyle bowler. Like, in the chaos of Pochettino's system, which we saw Dele Alli, another young player flourishing.
Yeah.
In terms of give
up till January, he was unbelievable.
true.
The 4 goals he got against Brighton, and it literally dried up in January. But I read a stat the other day. In the last 3 months, Cole Palmer has made 35 key passes. None have been converted. Not one. That is the problem at Chelsea. You can look everywhere else. You can look at the defence. You can look everywhere else. The number one problem at Chelsea is the same as Arsenal, same as other teams in the league. We haven't got that 30 goal a season bagsman. The teams that have got them, Liverpool,
20.
Liverpool winning the league. We haven't got bagsman. Every team needs that bagsman, and we haven't got it. Sorry, Nicholas Jackson isn't it. He's never been it, and he never will be it. He's poor.
So talk to me about this whole link. Would you take this guy called a certain guy from Ipswich, a Delap?
Delap. I would literally drive Nicholas Jackson wherever he wanted to go, and I'd drive to Ipswich and I'd pick him up.
I'll take Nicholas Jackson.
So a man are calling Delap like a new version of Bentner. That's what I've been hearing the last few days.
That's the thing too.
That's the Arsenal ones. That was started by
crazy
Kunle.
for me.
We just started.
What is this hype about Delap? He's had what's he scored? 13 goals. Or
Yeah.
something
No,
like
there
that.
isn't a hype.
And he's had 1 year in the Premier League.
No,
I
there
don't
isn't a
understand.
Who else? And
Everton,
who else? Who else?
Ferguson,
People
Evan,
are
Ferguson.
downgrading him to Bentner, so we're having to explain to them he's not Bentner. And then
No
when we
way.
explain that he's a good quality player, people say you're overhyping him. Well, no one's overhyping him. He's a good player. Like he's just.
I don't know, but I don't understand now. I get it right in terms of there's a scarcity of strikers. I think this year there's actually
isn't.
quite a few strikers
There's a few
available.
strikers around, yeah.
Yeah, he's
But I
easy
don't before you had to prove yourself and move up the. Now it's like one good season in a team that is let's average at best, and you're getting big moves to Chelsea,
Dominic Solanke.
big moves to United, big moves to. Lord, I don't get why Delap is even being mentioned in your Chelseas. And
but you come on,
He's
you got to give him that credit. Got the goals, the contribution to the Premier League, his age, and like I said, he's an easy target as well. Look who he's playing for. Look at the price.
Everybody's trying to get the man before he becomes the man.
we
Say
saw-
Delap goes to someone who's the next
you
level
said-
up,
you
bang,
said-
20 goals. He's going to be worth 80 mil. No one wants to pay that. For him,
And
then.
if you've got, and I think he's a project player as well. So
Yeah,
I think you would need someone. Maybe
if Liverpool went and got Delap, I would understand it, right? Because he's not going to be starting every game. He's going to be that project player for the future. You want to tap in. If
Newcastle wanted
if
him.
Newcastle went and got him
But
and kept Isak,
Yeah, it makes
I would
sense.
understand it.
Yoms, it's
Chelsea
him.
going to get
Yoms.
Delap and him being your number
Yoms.
one striker.
It's him. He said he wants to be the main man. That's the problem. So we've approached him, right? But his issue is, I'm not going to get in front of Isak. But he's not thinking like you're thinking. Newcastle nowadays are playing nearly 50 games a season. And obviously with Europe, it's going to be even more. You're going to get game time, bro. But you're just not that. You're not.
Gonna block it. He's it happened with us with Kane. When Kane was in that form, like when he was in our team, strikers didn't want to come to us to be play out back up.
soon.
Yeah.
But don't we do
You
this?
think that's a pull of the club though? Like,
No, Chelsea. No, Chelsea definitely got Paul. I'm not saying Chelsea don't have Paul, but
yeah. That's what I mean.
they're offering him the availability to, hey, you'll be our number one guy, straight up.
The thing is, so Chelsea have got Paul, but we've got Paul for a certain demographic. We want that demographic has got to be.
What's that?
We've got to be a 9-year contract.
Icy Street. Come on, we see it, man. We see it in the
You
Chelsea.
better finish that one. You better finish
The man.
It's like Crystal Palace in Fulham.
But Dilap bucks the trend though, isn't it?
No. When I say demographic, I'm talking about like young,
I'm
No,
messing
no,
with
we
you.
don't, we
That's
don't.
why you
Fair
know.
play, bro. Fair play.
I'm messing. No, but I
But,
was gonna say,
go
but
on,
don't we
on.
see this? But don't we see this every year? Like a player like this. So I'm gonna age us again.
Yeah, go on.
Michael Ricketts, right? We saw that one season he came with Bolton.
Michael Ricketts, you know. Hey,
Come
Remember
on,
that?
Olu,
One
man.
season-
That's disingenuous, man.
That's the Mac
I'm
thing.
just, I'm just saying we saw Michael Ricketts do it. We saw.
Dilap has the
so
Can I
pedigree.
also say, yeah, you see this thing that we've also seen it somewhere else. It's the same thing everyone was saying. Fergie and flipping Moyes, yeah, Wenger, Emery, yeah, they were saying, "Raw, when Slot joins,
Oh, here we
same thing's gonna
go.
happen."
Oh, here
Well,
we
I
go.
would no. Listen, I'm not doing that. I'm just kind of, but what I'm saying is, yeah, just kind of. I'm being real, just kind of. But what I'm saying is, not everything we've seen means it's gonna happen, innit? Like if it's we're in the age of data as well. A lot of data it plays a part in what we're doing. So our thinking is a lot more in it. So I actually think Chelsea would be a good move.
I don't know.
He fits our remit. He's young. We can offer him a long contract.
And
He's
if he is what he's saying he is, then that's good. I get it, you like the
Right.
proving thing, but it's that's his choice as well. Because if it works, that's great, isn't it? If it don't, oh
That's
well.
the thing. That's the reason why Chelsea don't go and get players like Osimhen and players like that, because they don't want to sign these massive contracts. They don't want to sign 8-year contracts. They want 2-3-year contracts, max money out the door.
But you
That's
do
why
need
Chelsea are
someone.
buying players so young, because they're getting them in on. I mean, Chelsea this summer have got that William Astaval coming in, another attacker that's coming in. We've got Kendry Pires, another one that's coming in, who's an attacker. We've got 7 goalkeepers on the books. 7.
What about that guy from?
Another one coming in. There's another one coming in from Belgium in the summer.
No, Enzo, can I just ask for a favor though? Like, you see Sancho, yeah? Just keep him. Just keep him, please, because 5 million is not enough to take him back. Bro.
You don't want to give him Garnacho as well, I'm hearing that.
They're saving that 5 mil, bro. That's
Chelsea's goal for Garnacho.
that's so for change
Why
to
are we
them.
being linked with Alejandro Garnacho when we've got all these attacking options? Apparently, why are we going for another winger?
Vibes.
Hey,
No, it's no. Listen, you see what you see with the owners you've got right now, yeah. You might as well accept what's happening now, fam. They even want Kelleher, bruv. Like,
I was gonna say, I think that you answered, and Preach kind of answered the question is, and Noenzo asked it, why are we doing it? I think it's the same reason why you're selling hotels to yourselves, and
Money.
yeah, it's just so blatant, like it's just in front of everyone. But it's not.
We don't sell hotels. We sell tickets as well. It's not just hotels.
We
do
do,
tickets
yeah.
as well.
you just sold the whole women's team, innit?
for the board.
We do tickets. We sold the women's team.
The
Like,
whole women's team just
I think Chelsea should just build yourselves a 60,000-70,000 seat stadium and just
Can't.
like I know,
There's
but
nowhere for it to go.
yeah, like it's
it's not that. They
But
don't
we
own the
got-
pitch.
But we've got to remember though, they're owned by a private equity firm.
no
Just-
move areas. Like,
No, but
move-
what I'm saying, the Chelsea itself is owned by a private equity firm, which means that there are shareholders who need to make money in the back of it. So
yeah.
long term, like it's not like Roman who, like, when they owned Chelsea, if he lost a bill, he didn't matter because that was his money. This guy at some point do dividends back, so it makes sense to either you are super successful, you make loads of money, which and you wait for like TV rights and so on and so forth, which is long term, or you do the other thing, which is you buy young players and then you sell them, and you just flipping them, and you just hopefully balance the books out.
Your mic though, I don't know if it's just me. Is your mic sounding a bit?
Oh my bad.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
You got this. You borrowed Yoms's headphones.
Just because we're Nigerian doesn't mean that we both have the same headphones. What's going on here?
There's more than one pair of headphones in
Yoms had
Lagos,
these
bro.
big old white telecoms headphones, man. He's not wearing them.
I upgraded.
Allow me, man. Listen. Football was it? I'll talk football by 11, and then 12 o'clock I'm selling insurance. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, but I mean, I think in terms of the lap, I don't think for either Man United or Chelsea, it's enough, in my opinion. I do like the lap.
any of the top.
Yeah.
Any. I think anywhere. I think
Well,
he,
Man United is a start, though.
I would take
Man
I
United
think
is
he
a
needs to
start.
stay in the Premiership.
I would take him, but I'm just thinking for what Chelsea needs. Chelsea need a certified bagsman. Like no, Enzo was saying, Man United, obviously anyone's better than Hoyland, but that can't just be the marker. Do you know what I'm saying? Because then, like, what we doing it, you need to have like proper standards and get a Premier League killer inside that box.
As much as I'm not buying him on the eye test, I would prefer Osimhen and Cunha. I don't think the two can happen because I think that's too much money for United. But it looks like Cunha is the one that United are going for, and I can see United going for Cunha and Delat.
Is he?
Yeah,
You lot could get both because I'm sure they're talking about
Are they?
this mad payment scheme for it.
what Clara, yeah? Split it. Split it over. Is that where we are now? Man said United are talking about the payment scheme.
But I was going to talk about. I'll talk about Cunha in a moment.
Osimhen.
But I think maybe we've got to meet teams where they're at, because some teams are massive club. I'm not saying not massive, but you've got to meet teams where when you're saying they've got to buy a certified striker.
when you're in the bin. That's what you said.
No, like it might be a money thing. It could be anything. There's a reason why they're not getting certified strikers and they're getting more maybe project players.
With Chelsea, you're talking about money. About it could be this, it could be that. We spent £1.5 billion on shit.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely not the dough, right? We spent £85 million.
The money ain't the problem at Chelsea now. It's the ownership that's the problem at Chelsea.
Yeah.
No one wants to pay this ownership.
Can I ask though? You see the players that you brought, yeah? Can you see them being sold for more?
No.
More? No.
Yeah.
The majority of the players that you got, like at some point, I'm sure you brought. I don't know the list, but I'm sure there was a lot of young players.
We
in
bought Tino and Hall of them. Like they made money on those guys. Like
see that, and that's the part that I see Chelsea doing well in. It's that part, like the wheeling and dealing part. I think they'll be all right. It's the actual football element. That's where.
And to add to that, also the 8-year contracts, right? When you have that assets, because that's what they're looking at as well. It's an asset, it's an 8-year asset, which then if they're depreciating, oh god, I'm talking finance now. I'll be quiet about that. Anyways, that 8-year assets, if they have that and they sell that, they say basically, actually we've got this player and it's coming to his prime. You want to buy them, and they're not going to run down their contracts, right? So you can hold them for as long as you want to. Essentially, you can keep boosting their price up. So it makes sense why they did this, and also that 1.3 billion, like they weren't they like legally bound to spend 1 billion.
No, but it only makes sense if that asset is appreciating. If that asset is depreciating, it makes absolutely no sense because you've now got a depreciating value.
That's true.
Nobody wants to buy it,
for the PSR,
and you've got to pay it 200k a week for 8 years.
they're not paying 200k. Their maximum is 150k.
Yeah,
150k even.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? You got to pay 150k for 8 years on an asset that's not performing. Like that is literally the
They need Champions League. They need
if they get top 4, then that's.
But the only thing is that when you look at football, you look at the prices of how players are inflating. Is inflating where, like I said, Nketiah we sold it for 30 mil. There's no world where Nketiah is a £30 million value. If you was looking at realistically how like not good he is. So this player's value is just going up for some weird reason. So
you look at players like Mudryk. What are we getting from Mudryk? He's probably going to end up drug running, radiating gang with
that's why, man. That's why.
Every one of those that you've just mentioned, there is a Mudryk, there's a Hoyland, there's an Anthony, there's a Anthony. We're not gonna get more than 35 million out of the door. He was 100. There's a team of Werner. There's the majority of players, unless you're performing well, your value is not going to increase. And to have look at
but you see, just on that point there, but I don't. That's the thing with Chelsea. I feel Chelsea is not. It's not because they're underperforming. It's just because of like the age and experience of the club. Like everything's
That's
just.
what I'm saying as well. They need someone that's a bit more.
Yeah, maybe, but I feel like United really did make poor decisions in the transfer window.
You can't buy a whole crash.
I don't think it's a thing where I can't see United players improving.
Yeah, it's
like the majority of them. I feel like it's still mate. This is what we most probably get the best. Maybe in the next 2 years out of them, unless you add mad great quality around them.
But actually, but also so go back to my point as well. If let's say they want to sell, by having so many Chelsea, let's say the owners want to sell, but having so many players who they can say of value what they think it is, that automatically increases the price. So stocking up these players, keeping them for 8 years, knowing that in 10 years' time or now 8 years' time they could possibly sell, is like as well you're still increasing. Like they're playing maths basically with it, and that's why as a Chelsea fan I'll be pissed because they're treating you more as a business as opposed to a club.
That's what I'm seeing. Yeah.
Well, you say no, Enzo. You're going to protest then? Is a protest happening? What's happening? What's
I've
going on?
been got the energy to go and protest about it, mate.
So the board
What's it
says
going
then.
to change nothing? What's the point in protesting? Arsenal protested for years and years and years and years and years, and it done absolutely fuck all. What's the point? It's a waste of time. They ain't going to listen to the little man. They're only interested in what the big men say. Honestly, Ash, I swear to God, this club is just rotten from the core outwards. It's horrible. It's an awful club to support now. It's awful.
You don't
It's
think
so bad.
a Club World Cup, optimistic you can get some money? No?
Yeah, we'll get loads of money getting to the bottom of the group. Waste of time, bro. It's all a waste of time. This is all like I listen to Chelsea fans I've known for 30 odd years who was with me when we was winning titles, when we was winning everything that there was to win, and they're just sitting there going, "Yeah, if we win the Europa Conference League, that's a good season." Fuck off. No, it's not. That's not a good season. Would it be a good season for Liverpool if they won the Europa Conference League and that was it? No. Would it be a good season for Newcastle? No. Would it be a good season for Arsenal? No. Would it be a good season for United? Probably not.
Listen,
But for us,
if it was after Roy Hodgson era, that would.
Yeah, it'll be good for us.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I'll be all right with it.
You've got to think where you're.
I should be ecstatic, bro.
Also, you remember this, right?
It's all relative. We've spent more than most African countries own.
Yeah,
We've spent more money than most African
Caribbean.
countries. That is absolutely
So, Enzo, all you got to do is this, right? Just turn it to acronym UCL, and then all of a sudden you feel so good. So you go win that UCL.
To be fair, Ollie, I'd say nothing. We've won it twice.
Hey, on that note, I want to know who's winning. He's going to be that top 5. Is the top 5 the Northern Alliance? Is it going to be? Well, what's funny? What? The Northern Alliance? You don't know the Northern
It's not
Alliance?
an insurance company, no?
I know I've got the headset.
Talking about finance, is it going to be Newcastle? Is it going to be the Forest and Man City combo, or are Chelsea going to creep in? I don't want to. I know what Enzo's going to say. So look, he
You
said,
reckon, Enzo?
but what does the panel think? Like Mitch, I'll start with Mitch actually. Mitch, what do you think? Who's going to be in that top 5? Like,
Top 5, I reckon it is going to be them 3. I reckon it's going to be Newcastle, City, Forest in that order.
but wait. What's going on with Newcastle though? Isn't your manager got like pneumonia or something?
Pneumonia, yeah, it's not on the sideline at the minute.
And he's still
Playing better without him.
He's still whooped Man
Are
United.
we?
They lost their last game. They lost their last game.
4-1.
I know, but that's one game that they lost.
No, Jason. Is it Jason Tyndall?
Jason Tyndall, yeah.
Jason Tyndall. I swear he came out and he said, "I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I'm doing."
But there's rumours that he's taking over training, though. I reckon.
Blacking it, lads. I'm blacking it. You know what? When I saw him on the sidelines, I was like, "No, I want him in
You
my."
know what? I actually don't think it's him making the decisions. I think Graham Jones makes a lot of the decisions. It's just Jason Tyndall's the one you see on the sideline.
Barking
I
orders.
see him doing the Amarim and the. I was like, "What?" Oh yeah, yes, please. I'll have some of that. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
But yeah, he came out. Did you not hear that in the interview? He came out and said,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. He doesn't like it. Even when Howe left Bournemouth and Tyndall took over for a little while, he came out after that when he left and said he didn't like it. He doesn't want to be a number 1. He's never wanted it.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
What
but
did he say?
he's got number 2 saying that. Our manager says that you don't know what he's doing half the time.
To be fair, on that, there was Leicester fans when you took him that were actually quite happy that he went because of the way they ended the season. They were just saying he was making mad changes at the end of the season that was costing them
This
points.
is another thing that really bugs me. We're supposed to be a team that's supposed to be a top 6 team, a powerhouse of English football, so we go get a manager from the fucking Championship.
I don't have any words for you, man.
He started off well, though. He started off well. No,
Yo, why are you talking the
He
mic?
said it's
no he started off well. Like Maresca.
I know why you're just saying
He
this.
went-
I know.
on
I'm
the real,
fine.
on the real.
We're not gonna say it. He will stay another season. Don't worry. We're
No. Honestly, on the real, like he started off well. He like I said, he walked into a club where man was getting changed in the corridors and all that kind of stuff. He said, "This is my first team. This is my team for the UCL." He was winning Premier League games. He was winning UCL games. He was doing well. I just think that teams have been like some of the players at Chelsea have to really look at this because when I watch Chelsea, I don't watch Chelsea that often. When I do watch Chelsea, some of their players look like as if they're not trying as hard. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult, I think, for a manager. I know the manager's job is to motivate players and to do all of that kind of stuff, but some players really have to look in the mirror and say, is this a system thing? Is this a formation thing? I don't think so at Chelsea. I think some of the players, A, are just not good enough, and B, some of the players are just not giving it, they're not leaving it all on the pitch. And if you look at the teams that are doing well this year, really, you've got the real quality in Liverpool and Arsenal, I'll say. The rest of the top 6, top 7, they're workhorse teams. Do you get what I'm saying? Like Newcastle, yeah, you've got real quality up top, but that's a workhorse team. Like Forest is a workhorse team. Like these, it's not really.
Does anyone think that Newcastle, like potentially, they could become a problem next season if they were to get like maybe 1 or 2 players? Because they're not far.
They keep Isaac, they're a problem.
Like because I'm thinking, right, how many points are you got off Arsenal? You're not that far. 4 points.
No,
7, I think.
7 points. Is it 7? Oh, my bad. 7 points, yeah. But I'm saying, look,
Arsenal is 8, and Arsenal have played 1 more game.
Yeah.
It's 8 points, yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Don't scare me like this, man. I want my second place. Ole, man.
I think Arsenal will get the second place. I'm not trying to do that. Don't worry. But I'm just saying for next season, does anyone think that, Newcastle with like maybe 2 or 3, like an Embremo on the right, do you know what I'm saying? They've already got the top midfield there.
And Cunha.
Or I feel like if they can get rid of the slow start to the league, to the season. So it might not even have to be just about getting more players. It could be just
a buffer,
changing something, because the Newcastle do finish the season well. And I feel like it may be the slow start, a better start, and keep you up there for when you do usual form.
What does that mean for teams like Chelsea and Man U that think they're still like that top 4 team? We'll get to Spurs. Don't worry. What about Chelsea? The Chelsea section / Man U. I'll bring Man U into this. Because now I'll be honest, Man U are the same like Chelsea. They've got that mentality where like we're top 4. What are you talking about? Standards. And I'm not sure if they can get back into that top 4 that easily. There's other teams that are in front of them. I'm not going to say Forest, but you've got City. They're trying to get back to where they're getting. Go on.
Do you know what I feel? Obviously, like hindsight with all geniuses, and then we can only really judge on what's right in front of us here. So, for example, I would say like, Forest, you're that surprise team, like Aston Villa was, and like how Newcastle was. But what we're seeing now, the follow-on, is that Newcastle are becoming a stronger team. So they haven't like fallen. What we're seeing is the progression of them breaking into the top 4, and I believe Aston Villa is not even that far off from them as well. So I can see that. I can see the dynamics of the top 4 breaking, and unfortunately, it could be Spurs and United that are the ones that.
That's not unfortunate. That's not unfortunate. No,
it's only because Ash the Spurs part.
Yums don't have that. Bro.
That's just the host, isn't it? He can't upset the host. He has to keep him happy.
That's what it was. It's the host.
Because we're in the Chelsea section. Do you understand? That's what I was. Go on, Andy. Go on.
No, I was gonna say though, on Newcastle, I'll say the less Newcastle are an emotional team, the more dangerous they'll become. What I mean by that is that when the crowd is really with them, they're a horrible team to play against. But when the crowd is not up to it, I think that also sips into the team as well. I think once they become a more ruthless team where the emotions of the crowd doesn't matter, and of course that also adds the quality of players that come in, Newcastle are primed to be a dangerous team. And we've seen already this season they can give anyone a horrible game.
I want to add this here, and I think Newcastle they're a top team, but this summer will tell me a lot about where Newcastle are heading. For example, if they're able to keep hold of their top players, Tonali, I'm not even going to say Isaac, Tonali for me, because like rest of Europe should be sniffing around them. I'm talking about
I've heard a rumour about Tonali.
Huh? Oh,
Yeah, he's
I've
getting.
heard
Yeah,
a rumour about Tonali. I don't know if Two can elaborate on it, but apparently he's been investigated for betting again.
No,
No,
that's
it's
old stuff. It's old stuff.
That's
It's
no.
old stuff.
They're not
I heard
investigating
the rumours
Tonali on
in
anything that he hasn't already been banned for.
Yeah.
all right. Let's get back to
I
my
thought you meant he was getting. He was going
I
back
thought
to
you were going to say a transfer. I thought, oh, my mate knows
Yeah.
an agent.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
That's what I thought as well.
Oh, no. I heard a rumour about betting again.
So you meet him back at the casino. But yeah, I'm just saying, raw. Is there a world? I'm not saying this is going to happen, by the way. And this is what I'll judge Newcastle on. If they can keep their top players, then I think, yeah, they're going to be a problem next season. But can they fend off teams like, I don't know, Bayern Munich, teams like Barcelona, teams that might look at Tonali and think, yeah, we need that in our midfield. Can Newcastle hold off and not sell their best assets? What do you guys think?
I don't see why not.
Yeah, they don't really need money like that. If that makes sense, but
No, but it's not just the money; it's down to the player. I think.
There's progress in the squad, so you can't if it's down to the player, no one will know the answer to that. But in terms of what you're seeing, you guess it like it's looking good for Newcastle. Why wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think the key thing is if you want to be, I think Liverpool are probably the best run club, probably with Brighton. I think the key thing is, like you said, you mentioned the players and stuff like that. Any well-run club, elite club, can if the player wants to go, they sell him and they have a replacement ready. And that's what we've got a good sporting director from. Don't get me wrong, it would be absolutely gut-wrenching if we lost Isak, this season, or if we lost Sandro Tonali. It would be even worse if we don't replace them with quality players. I don't think that will happen. I think we would replace them with quality players. Then they might not be at Isak or Sandro Tonali's level at that season because it's very, very hard to do that. But I think if we do it, like for instance, I always say with Isak, whether it's this year, we did it with Bruno actually. To be fair, last season we had him we renewed his contract. We had a £100 million release clause, which I'm sure Man City now regret not triggering in terms of that. And that's just been an adult about it, saying, look, you're our star player, you're our captain, we want to keep you, here's your wages, but we understand should Man City come, your head might be turned because you want to win leagues and stuff like that. Obviously, in hindsight, Man City's season fell apart, but they just won, 4 in a row. There's no reasons why they couldn't win 5. So we put a release clause in. I hope we'll probably do something similar with Isak or whoever else we need to do and just be adults about it. We're not yet, Chelsea's, Man United's or whatnot, and we can just fend off people. Even like when Real Madrid come, Liverpool have to say to a player, Trent Alexander, you have to go. Whether it's Man United and Cristiano Ronaldo, and Man United are at the time we're on par with Real Madrid. So we just have to be adults about it and handle our business well. That's all it is. But it would be gut-wrenching to lose those players. Like, I'm not saying it like, just cold-bloodedly. Just as a fan, it'd be gut-wrenching. Yeah.
If you guys were to lose like an Isak, would you be happy to look at a Rashford for say like 40 million? I know he's crazy.
No.
I know. I'm just saying.
Don't even put that in the atmosphere, Ash. I know we're hearing this.
No way.
What?
I think for me, it would be João Pedro. One of the first ones. João Pedro, Hugo Ekitike, Delap.
I think Gyökeres would be a good fit for Newcastle.
Yeah, or I'm not overly sold on Gyökeres. I don't like this. He hasn't Portuguese league business. I need him to. I put more money on Delap on Gyökeres. I'll be honest, because at least Delap's done it in the Premier League. Honestly.
Oh,
wow.
Whoa, buddy.
Honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. But Ekitike is the one. If we sold Isak, Ekitike would have to be the one for me. But I just feel.
David?
Huh?
What about Jonathan David?
Yeah, Jonathan David.
Nah,
He can finish, but he's not our style of striker. Like he's not.
I don't think he fits
He's
at
not
all.
a running behind type of striker though, Jonathan David.
He hasn't.
He does link up, but
He's got a good all-round play, but it's like all 6, 7 out of 10 type of play.
Yeah, but Eddie Howe would make him an 8-9.
That's the thing. He could do that.
That's why I mentioned Rashford.
This was the point I was going to make. I was making a point. Like Chelsea have spent all this money and done absolutely nothing with it. Yet Newcastle, the richest club in the world, and have spent about 20% of what Chelsea has spent. And look where they are.
We'll put it this way:
That's
we haven't bought a first-team player in 3 transfer windows in 18 months.
That's what I mean. But they're a well-run club with a good manager, but yet they've got all the money. They could go and spend 600 million next summer and not even think about it. They've got that much money, but they don't because they've got their squad, they've got their manager. Their manager knows what he wants, picks his targets early, gets them.
Big up Faze, big up Faze.
It's gonna big up in the chat. So can I just wanted to point out, Destiny 5 said something about Ancelotti maybe going back to Chelsea. What are you saying about that?
It's going to Brazil, isn't it?
Yeah, I heard he's going to Brazil.
He's going to Brazil, but if I was Tottenham Hotspur, I would.
I was going to ask that.
I would be literally kidnapping this guy. And
would you want him?
What are they going to do with Ancelotti, bruv?
Listen, Ancelotti, I don't care what anyone says. Ancelotti,
that's the Godfather. Bro.
His name, I know, like people that his tactics and blah blah blah, all the rest of it. I don't care. Listen, his name holds weight.
So did Conte.
That's the Godfather, bro. Ancelotti is the Godfather.
Conte, yeah, I hear it. Conte, I hear it.
You need the McKenna.
Ash. No, there's a curse on Spurs that no manager can overcome. Listen, bring
Ollie, you said that so confidently, like it was you that put the curse on there.
The goal has been sacrificed. I'm not the gong chat.
I want to be happy. I just want to be a happy fan. What season are we
Needs to go home, fam.
I hope you. I'm saying, look, listen. Give me an Ancelotti, yeah.
I want it to happen, man.
Listen. I think though Ancelotti is his name just around Europe. You know, see what he did with Everton, and out of nowhere, like Rodrigo James came.
We don't want legends to go out like that. We don't want legends to go out like that.
Exactly.
We don't want legends to go out like that, man.
Save him from Everton.
Because when you're 14th and your fans are screaming at him, get out of our club, it's gonna just ruin it. And they're filming it and that.
Ash, to be fair, Ash, Don Carlo might be the Godfather, but he ain't Jesus, bro. He ain't a miracle worker.
Wow.
Listen, all I'm saying is this, right? But if he joined Tottenham, you know what Levy's going to do? Just print shirts with the eyebrow. He's not going to buy any players for him. He'll just print shirts with the eyebrow.
That alone would raise enough cash.
One eyebrow up.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought about this question before as well, and I said to myself,
"Yeah, that was."
Yeah, see, even the internet, even the computer said no.
Like, you've been talking about Ancelotti for too long. I've got to stop this. Stop it now.
Don't give me that shit, man.
You know, Stefan's going to hit him
in the algorithm.
Stefan was about to go to sleep, and he heard Ancelotti. Nah, forget it.
Don't give me this shit, man.
I just think the transfers, we would get players that we would never be able to get, previously. And I honestly believe in player power. I hear about systems and whatnot, but sometimes the quality of player that you can get at your team can just change your whole season, in my opinion. You know what I mean? People could disagree and say, no, need
short term.
Yeah, short term, yeah. It's short term.
You can leave your club in a mess,
just
man.
Want a happy time.
Players like Werner.
Nah. ID's a bit better than Werner. His ID's a bit better than, you know what I'm saying? We might start looking at a couple man like, Chelsea.
So do you think that approach will just work then? So you see like how like the top teams are like have a structure and a system and they implement players that fit like a philosophy and then it's all the way through thing. You think that he can just pop up, buy people and... No.
I think personally at Real Madrid...
Yeah, but that's La Liga, man.
he's got a lot of pressure on him from their chairman. I think their chairman, he's kind of on that Galactico thing, innit? You know what I'm saying? So he maybe does have a say on what players come in, but I think it's more the vision of they wanted Mbappe. Do you know what I'm saying? They wanted that big money signing, and they did it the wrong way around. I think PSG was right. How Luis Enrique did it and how their board did it, because they went through that phase where they had the Messis, the Neymars, and it never worked. And now they are realizing actually we're gonna have to have another rebuild, and we might have to maybe sell one or two players. But I think Ancelotti, and I'm not saying my club's the right club at all, because we're not. Our club's a mess at the moment. But I just think if he had a bit more say in what happened.
Nah, I got to stop this.
Let me live.
What a debut for one of you. I know it's been shitting on you like the whole stream.
If Spurs have Ancelotti, this is senior abuse. This is, you get tried for war crimes in The Hague if you let Ancelotti manage Tottenham. We
It's not fair, innit?
Listen, if Ancelotti fails at Tottenham, delete Tottenham. That's what I'm going to say. Delete Tottenham. Because you would have had Conte, Mourinho, and Ancelotti. And you can't do nothing. But delete.
Yeah, bro. That's literally Goodfellas. That's literally Goodfellas.
You can't have Ancelotti.
Don't you think that the other leagues are just easier to compete in, though, in comparison to the Premier League?
You didn't rate what he did at Everton, though. You didn't rate what he was doing at Everton.
What did he do?
Everton was relegation fodder. And then he from the scrubs, and he got them like into that top 6 talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then what happened?
Ever since he left for Real Madrid, did it?
And then what happened with Everton?
They went downhill, bro.
But how long was left of the season?
Over half.
I can't remember if it was January.
Yeah, so being 6 in 18 games ain't nothing to write home about.
We can't shit on Ancelotti, but Ancelotti is one of the great managers.
No. I'm not trying to shit on him. I'm just saying, you see, like the Mourinho, because Mourinho ain't Mourinho no more, like he was at Chelsea. But do you know what I mean? So people say, even Conte, he went and won Serie A after he left Spurs, but so what? Like, do you know what I mean? Is it extremely difficult to win Serie A?
No, I hear it. But I don't know. I've just seen him at Italy. I remember watching him. I used to watch a lot of Italian football, innit? Back in the day.
You used to be on Channel 4, innit? Yeah.
Days with the golden eras.
Was it Del Piero? No, who else was it? Del Piero? Yeah.
Total screen used to finish on. My man was sitting at a coffee shop, just
Gabriel.
Memories.
Ronaldo. R9.
Yeah.
Listen, actually, guys, go and look at the Palmer team from 1998.
Yeah, he's in the man.
Crazy.
Zola.
He was insane. He's gone.
Faustino was
Ram.
and madness like that.
Navarro.
Better than Lazio when they had Lopez, Crespo.
Oh my God. Hey,
Veron. I swear they had Veron.
Oh shit! Hold on, they had Chiesa, Crespo up front.
Yep.
Vanoli, Veron, Fusa, Bocosi, and Dino Baggio, Cannavaro, and Buffon in goal. Fucking hell! That's crazy. Still,
listen. Ancelotti is in that era. He
might think you're Palmer, innit? He might think you're Palmer, like.
Hey.
Cannavaro's got hair.
Serious question. If Ange wins the Europa League, does he stay next season?
Say again?
Pardon?
If Ange wins the Europa League, does he stay next season?
We're here now. Apparently the club came out and said that they're gonna get rid of him regardless, innit?
Officially in public.
I don't know if it's
it was
big sources like T1s, isn't it? T1s are saying it.
Yeah, there's a lot of noise around.
No, bro, that source is dodgy, bro. Don't. I ain't taking someone close to the club said this now.
Yeah, fuck all that, man.
Yeah, because that would be crazy for a club to say that now. For the club, if you're saying that now, sack him now.
Yeah.
You can't be saying that and putting it out there. And that's mad. That's Mr. Box Office, man.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, can I run a shameless narrative? Yeah,
Go on.
I heard someone say that Man United are like a small club, and that they're going back to what they used to be before. Because before Fergie, the gap between them and Liverpool was absurd. So he's just saying that Fergie has dragged them forward and gave all this accolade and respect. But if you delete the Fergie era from their history, they're a rather mediocre club. Is that?
What about Busby?
No, they were. No, I can't do it.
But Fergie won 13 league titles, no? Or
No, he did, but like they had the Busby Babes, they had like George Best era, like they were always doing.
Didn't they have three different players win back-to-back Ballon d'Ors? Like one, then the next.
Was that under Fergie?
Yeah,
no, in like the 70s.
It was like 60s.
It was like Charlton, Best, and someone else. They won it from Man United.
You know when people say that, Faze, they don't. You have to read the club's history before you start talking crazy like that. It's, as much as I want to like dump on them, I can't even.
That's
yeah, but remove Fergie's stats though. They can't check Liverpool at all.
Chinks, you can't just go around deleting shit.
No, I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
That's like saying, like Chelsea are a small club because if you delete Abramovich, but you can't just delete Abramovich.
Chelsea, are Chelsea a big club?
Oh wow!
Jinx, don't start, bruv. Don't start, Jinx.
Yeah, but they don't own their stadium though.
Right. Just because you got
I'm joking.
Let's get to the Champions League semi-final. It's not starting off.
Safety.
No, I'm joking. No, it was an interesting narrative because I didn't look at it that way, to be honest. Because
that's also like saying if you delete Wenger, Arsenal are a small club.
No, because really
but he ain't won that much though.
It's like Toon said. Whoever said that comment did not check history.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Literally, they just started from that era.
Yeah. Speaking of big clubs, though, can I ask you guys, Kuna, yeah? Man United, right? So if you was Kuna's agent or family member, who would you tell him to pick out of Newcastle?
Look, somebody come look at this. What, Newcastle, Man United?
Yeah.
I don't think
this guy's been in the building for 2 minutes. You won a league cup.
I told you, man. I'm not in that butt no more, baby.
Smell the round table. Can smell the round table.
Do you think a player with that attitude is good for your club at the moment?
What's wrong with his attitude, man?
I don't know, but I don't know if I buy this attitude stuff, bro.
Why are you stereotyping Faze, bro? What's wrong with that?
No, because he said online about I'm not gonna something about my. He kind of outed Wolves a bit like I'm bigger than. I can't remember let me find the exact statement.
Didn't Michael Elise do the same thing to Redding though? When someone asked him a question, who do you play for, and he was like, "I won't be here for long." And then
Redding is crazy. Yeah, but Redding and Wolves is crazy though. At least one's in the Premier League.
Just about.
No. Remember Benoit Asiokoto, whatever his name is. He said, listen, this is a job to me. I don't care about football.
Say that still.
So it happens.
No, but he means that though. That was him, like in general. That's his life. Like he could have been playing for Barcelona. He would have said that. Like,
but that's not Ben White. Ben White hates football.
Yeah.
I do buy that shit though.
No, I do with Benoit.
Ben White's come out and said he doesn't watch any football.
Honestly,
yeah, that's because fucking Arteta makes him watch so much fucking comps.
No, Ben White.
No, but Ben White is along the same about I don't really like football, but bro,
Ben White just don't want to play for England, doesn't it?
Ben White has actually come out and said he doesn't watch football at all.
He said he hates it. He doesn't watch it. He just plays it. It's a job.
Yeah.
So let me think. I used to drive a bus for a living. I'm going to turn around and go, I fucking hate buses. I don't really pay attention to buses on my work. I'm still extremely experienced in buses. Like
some people are like that. It makes them even better. Some people there's stories about Asa Koto when they're saying he turns up to play the game. They're like, who are we playing? He fully didn't care. Like,
before the game, he eat Snickers and a Mars bar pre-workout.
That's nice. Have you seen Vardy's? Have you seen Vardy?
Specialist.
Hardy has a red ball and a line, doesn't he?
Yeah.
By the way, I'll take that credit at Chelsea as well.
What, Vardy?
Vardy.
You take Vardy?
Hardy at Chelsea.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now,
All right, what's
This
the
version of
on a
Vardy.
9-year contract.
what would you give him for wages? What's the
What about a
absolute,
9-year contract to be 80?
what's the absolute most you give him for wages a week? You give him what?
Quid a couple of bags.
Thanks to Charlie.
Like time to buy a Red Bull.
100 grand a week. You taking him?
No, not 100.
That's too much, isn't it? It depends on the cost, I suppose.
I'll probably take 70.
I'm happy with. I'd take him for 70. Pause. I forgot.
Are we talking about this? We're talking about this version of Jamie Vardy. Yeah? We're talking about this version of Jamie Vardy.
I'm not letting that go. I'm not letting that go. He said, I'll take it for 70. I don't care about the pause. That was too much, man.
He put it back in. Yo,
rephrase it.
Yo, silent killer, man.
You don't need to understand. I watch Nicholas Jackson every week.
No, but you know what though? We all barring. Let me think. Yeah, barring Toon, we all kind of. I think Liverpool got Salah, but we all. Everybody needs a striker in the Premiership, apart from probably a few teams. Like quality strikers are there.
Nicholas Jackson, and I'll take Nicholas Jackson.
I'll take Nicholas Jackson. Man.
I'm watching Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
I would drive Højlund to Stamford Bridge right now if he could take Nunes.
And I'll drive him straight back.
I feel like Jackson. I appreciate that.
Red Bull and 50k.
But as a striker, like I want my striker to finish his dinner. I'd
rather keep Nunes.
A brother in my team, and it comes to crunch time and he can't finish his dinner. I just can't do it. Bro.
I'd rather have Michael Jackson.
Bubbles. Oh man, that's a real life of Michael. That's funny. Yeah, but listen, Newcastle. Just going back to Newcastle. I was trying to do a Newcastle section here. People been criticizing me and saying, talk about Newcastle enough. So I'm going to try and do it. Yeah, with Newcastle, their next 5 games happen to be Ipswich at home, Brighton away. I'm not sure. Brighton away.
Win.
Newcastle at home to Chelsea. That should be interesting.
Win for Newcastle.
3 wins. All 3 of them are wins.
Newcastle versus Arsenal. Win again?
Where?
If Arsenal in the Champions League final,
at Emirates,
they won't care. If Arsenal in the Champions League final, this will be a bigger fish to fry moment. They'll
play like if Arsenal was still in the Champions League, they'll play like they did today.
Yeah.
And Newcastle versus Everton for the last game. So Newcastle guaranteed top 4. Is that what we're saying? The guaranteed Champions League.
There's no guarantee. I wouldn't say there's a guarantee like for anything. But like,
It sounds like if you don't, it's a bottle job.
Nah, don't.
Future's been holding on to that. Future's been holding on to that all season.
Do you know she said to her bottle job and Olu's got really quiet.
As soon as I heard those fixtures, I'm like, yeah, that's good. If anything, the Arsenal
the bottle job is on not Man United, is on Man City and Chelsea, who spent 200-300 million during the January transfer window. Chelsea, who spent 1.5 billion.
Now,
even Aston Villa,
not January just gone.
We're in the business end of the season now, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares about all of that? We don't even care if you win by mistake.
If all you want to say is Newcastle bottled it, then you wouldn't care about the context. You just want to say, they bottled it. But
so what I mean is talking about who spent money in that. I'm saying I think that's a bottle job if you don't.
Why though? Why would it be a bottle job?
Why would it be a bottle job? Exactly.
Because
you know the
form that you're in and the teams that you're playing.
We just lost 4-1.
Carabao Cup champions though, bro.
I'm saying we finished 3rd, but I don't see how it'd be a bottle job if we don't get Champions League.
It's a bottle job. It's a bottle job
because of the opportunity.
It's not about what happened before. It's about where you're at. It's about where you're at. What's in front of you.
With 3 points ahead, like that's not a bottle job.
Not achieving it is if you don't achieve it from what's in front of you and where you're at now.
We're
Like,
2 points
surely
ahead
you've got to
with 5 games to go, 15 points to play. It's not a bottle job.
And
If
we've
we're-
only just got there as well. It's not like we've been. If Forest don't make Champions League, that's a bottle
that's
job.
the bottle job.
No, that is a bottle job as well.
So
So
yours
that's
must
the
be as well,
bottle
then,
job.
no?
I don't want unless one of you. I think one of you two is gonna.
You just
make
want to
the top
say
four.
bottle job. That's what that's
I'm
what
saying
a
one
bottle
of
job
you two.
means.
Narrative.
No, but if Chelsea and Villa,
Ash is loving this, bro. He just wants to just that.
No, but it is. What out of those teams that you just named here, how many like wins do you expect? Because Mitch just said win to most of them as well.
I reckon we win 4 of the last 5.
If you don't win them and you don't make that's a bottle job. You just said win. You didn't say close one, draw.
I didn't say that. Mitch said all of that.
No,
Mitch
Mitch was. I know.
Mitch,
I'm saying
answer for your crimes, Mitch.
He's your fan.
I'll answer for my crimes. I've been saying since December that we're going to finish 3rd, and I'm sticking by it. I reckon we
fair
win
play.
4 of
Fair
the last 5, and I've been holding up the same thing every time I've been on there. I've been asked. I say we're going to finish 3rd, and I'm still saying it now. I'm not going to change.
I'd love
It
that.
doesn't mean that we've bottled it if it doesn't happen, though. That's just been my belief for the season.
well, it
Nah,
depends.
Pete ain't hearing that. He ain't hearing that. He's not hearing that.
If you lot don't get Champions, if Villa or Chelsea pip you to Champions League football, you can be called. You can say you bottled it a little bit.
You can. Yeah, you can say.
If we
I don't think you will, though. I don't think you will. I don't think you will, though.
If we collapse and lose 4 out of 5 games, then I'd say yeah, it's a bottle job.
And what? Olu, I think you're muted.
Olu's not going to add anything productive.
You need to
Hey, listen, you can't say that tune, right? Because he's got.
Nigerian friends. Nigerian friends.
Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah.
That's what they might on here.
I'm gonna say, Ash, you moved me next to him for a reason, right?
One hand on here.
Yeah. I clocked. I was like, wait a minute. I was on the bottom. You moved me. No, I was gonna say though, but by definition, bottle job is obviously that.
You was at the bottom is a crazy pause, Olu. You should do it to me. You should do it to me.
We'll catch it. I said it. I thought, oh no. No, I was saying the bottle job obviously means that when the pressure comes on, your team could have handled the pressure, right? So if you don't make Champions League, I'm done. I'm going back on mute.
You are a bottle. No. You are a bottle.
Oh man.
Why are you a bottle?
Why are you a
Who says
bottle?
I'm a bottle?
Why
You are a bottle.
I love my people. I swear to God. Something else.
He's Ugandan, man. He's Ugandan.
It's a shameless bottle, though. It's not an actual bottle
It's
because
not-
wherever you actually finish is a pro. But if we can be called bottlers, if Chelsea can be called bottlers, and we're going to do the shameless things,
Yeah, it's past trauma.
you know what I mean?
But then, wouldn't you say we've passed our biggest pressure moment of the season already? Going into a cup final after 70 years with no domestic, wouldn't you say that would have been the moment we would have bottled it if we were going to bottle something?
No, but you not even to be like a bit offensive, yeah. But your cup teams.
But that's my though. You've just gone through a very pressure moment.
What also then?
What's ahead of you now? If it's not got that pressure that you're saying, then it's a bottle job, then, isn't it?
What? No, wait. What's Arsenal? Was Arsenal a cup team or was Arsenal
We won leagues though.
Huh?
Yeah,
We've
we're not
won
talking about
leagues.
the 30s, Jinx.
Huh?
We're not talking about the 30s.
It would be the Chelsea fan with only recent history to say that, wouldn't it?
Obviously, I'm not saying anything else. I'll admit it.
But
I'll admit it.
but of late, you could call us a cup team. We've done all right in the league, but we ain't won it. So if it's by that, but at least we fucking finished second. Some guys have never finished second and only won a cup. So I think they're a bit more cup team than us.
We finished second.
We have finished second.
Yeah,
When did you
when
finish
we
second?
Did the Champions League finish second?
No, when they bottled it, when what's his name? Kevin Keegan. I would love it. I would love it.
Oh yeah, shit. Fucking hell, I forgot about that.
You see, you can't.
Yeah.
It's just deleting people's history, bro. Just deleting
You see, they're in the same block.
So you all that grief?
Because he just deleted the Fergie era. He didn't remember
the
it.
Fergie area.
Yeah, but we've won it since then, though. No.
Yeah, you have. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He's getting nervous.
No, I was thinking.
Yeah, no. What was being said? I forgot now.
Whether it's a bottle or not. That's
Was winning that cup easier than finishing in the Champions League position?
So the Champions League position, well, the first one. So we weren't expected to be in the Champions League position, but we held our bottle because Liverpool were chasing us down. Like there were still games to go, and we held our bottle and won. So I'm like, we've been doing quite well in pressure moments at the moment. So 5 games to go. Got to go beat Ipswich, Brighton, and get ourselves over the line. Really. We've been quite good at that.
Go on.
So does this not prove that, because say for example, people will be shameless and say you won a cup and your season amounts more than other people's seasons. So doesn't that prove that like league standing is more of a better barometer of where you are as a team than an cup?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Consistent league position as well, not just one off and then fall away.
Absolutely.
Because Wigan won the FA Cup and got relegated. So.
Oh yeah, shit. Fucking hell.
So wait.
But if we get Champions League this year, that's 2 out of 3 in the Champions League. And last year we finished in the European place, but lost out because Man United won the FA Cup. And so it's not like we've just disappeared and just won a cup.
Exactly. And if Arsenal don't win the Champions League and we finish Champions League and the cup, we'll have a better season than Arsenal.
So what now?
I can't argue with that.
People might know better than I do. What now happens if the FA Cup is won by a team outside of the top 4 or 5, and the Europa League is won by a team outside of the top
11 teams.
We can have 12.
Yeah. We can't have 12 anymore. Something's happened, so we can't have 12. We can still have 11. I think we can have 6 in the Champions League still, or something mad like that.
11 teams in Europe.
In fact, I think mathematically we can still have 7, but it would mean Arsenal would have to fall off and not finish in the Champions League place and win the Champions League.
I think we'll only have 5 in Champions League, no matter what, innit?
No, we can have 6.
5.
There's more.
5, and then if Man United, if Man United or Tottenham win Europa League, that's 6.
Oh yeah, that's the 6. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
And like I said, if Arsenal fill out,
so why did the FA Cup? Why did the FA Cup winners get a spot last year?
They don't. They get Europa.
Yeah, because Man City had already qualified for. No, you get it just from the FA Cup. That's the spot.
FA Cup.
We only got so many. Yeah, we only got so many spots. You only get so many spots.
Okay. Yeah. I see it.
So what? Does no one think then that Eddie Howe not being at Newcastle affects Newcastle's running? They don't. What? Does everyone just think that it's like
What? Wait. Why? What's wrong with Eddie Howe?
He's got pneumonia.
He had pneumonia.
Oh shit!
He's got it.
It affects our running to a point, but I don't think it affects us enough for us not to get Champions League. The game it affected us for was Villa against another elite tactician who will make changes in the game that we wouldn't have been able to combat without Eddie Howe. I don't think any of the other managers we come up against Arteta, which is the game I don't think we win anyway.
Yeah, in-game
that's the only game I'd worry about.
Why? Well, you lot have beat the last 3 times you beat us, no?
Yeah, but Eddie Howe's been there, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think the same thing what he just said, because we like to play a bit of a physical game, and Newcastle are probably the best physical team there is. So if they just stick to what they know, unless Arteta's going to pull out some magnificent stuff and play Rayo as false 10 or something, I feel like
it's Arsenal at the Emirates, bro. It's just like
I think the in-game decisions that will affect them. Like they know. Remember the last time we played Arsenal. All right,
there's rumours that Eddie Howe's taking his training session like today or yesterday. So I'm hoping he'll be back.
Yeah.
They beat us with our best defense, though. That the only time
I get that, but for me as Newcastle to rock up to the Emirates and say, "Yeah, we're definitely going to win this game," would be shameless right now.
Would he make the right decision under pressure? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you look like you're going to score. What does he do? Bring a striker on or a defensive midfielder?
If they beat us 4 times this season, if they own us at that point, if they beat us 4 times
Oh wow.
this season.
And imagine if you win the
owned by
Champions League and whooped you 4 times that season, bro.
Oh,
What
wow.
does that
Well, let's not carry away with words like whooped. It's been a goal. It's been a goal here or there.
oh,
Let's not get carried away with saying Arsenal win the Champions League.
Technically, it's 5-0 on aggregate at the minute, Chick. 5-0 on aggregate. You've got a lot to do in the fourth leg.
Who said that? Which one of you said that, man? What were you?
These 3 yellow guys talking.
Man said, which one of y'all kicked me?
Hey, all right, cool. We're gonna go back onto this Ange talk, innit? So, are you not saying?
I was having a good time, Ash.
Oh,
No, why bring your vibe down?
I had to bring the tone down.
You want to talk about Ange? Fine. We'll take it to the very.
You think you owe him some loyalty?
no,
Why not?
no. Because we're 16th, bro.
Well, you've had the worst injuries probably of all time, maybe.
Caused by him, bro.
How is it caused by him? It's caused by playing too many fucking high-intensity games.
Yeah.
And it's the
That's
Premier
his
League
style
and
of
the
football.
fixtures and stuff like
It's
that.
style of football. He don't want to do low blocks sometimes. He don't want to. He wants to press 24/7, bruv. He wants to go like a I don't know, like a train, a crazy train, 100 miles per hour. So
Yeah, but Arteta wanted to play out from the back with fucking
exactly.
Louise. Who do we have? Kolasinac, David Luiz, and all these fucking, like, do you know what I mean? He's trying to implement something. I think you don't need. Tell me a manager you showed loyalty to and stuck with throughout the difficult times.
Watch. You stuck with him.
And that paid off in the end, no?
No, wait, no. Ash just lied. Ash just lied. No.
They haven't, have they?
On the mic, yeah, sure. He's lying.
You haven't. Even Martin Yol got sacked prematurely. Like, you know what I mean, man?
Yeah, no, listen, I'll be honest with you. Look, I just think if anyone else was in my position other than Newcastle, they're second.
Hey, allow it.
Even if he wins Europa, he has to get at least another season.
I just
No, they get Ancelotti.
No, do you know what? I tell you what, yeah.
Wait, can we just roll back to Ash looking through the cameras to look at who he could throw a jab at there? anyone else other than Newcastle? He's like, right, I'm gonna jab you. Man, scan the screen real quick. It was like, yes, I got one.
Man did the Ray Charles bars like that. But yeah, no, for me, it's easy to say it from where you're sitting in second place, isn't it? It's easy for you lot to say it from your position in fifth.
Yeah, but sorry to cut you, but people are still shouting Arteta out. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, fans are a bit eager, man.
Of course, I get it. So you're saying you would have been, if Arteta was like, you know, at this end of the season in April, 16th, and he had a chance of winning the cup, you're still saying Arteta in, yeah? Basically.
Yeah, I might go in
He
because
can't comprehend 16th. He's like,
I'm still trying to argue and we're on Arteta now as the hypothetical. But I think that a part of where we are is due to like showing loyalty to Arteta. When everybody wanted him out and disrespecting him and he had some bad results, we kind of stuck by him and now we're kind of seeing the fruits of it. And I've noticed that Spurs don't really do that. Once the fans pipe up a bit, you'll chuck anyone out.
But Chinks, there's a big difference between 7th and 14th. There's 16th, sorry. There's a massive difference.
Wait. Do you remember the conversations we used to have about Ten Hag with Yoms? Do you remember?
Yeah. And I was Ten Hag in.
Yeah.
I was
Ten Hag
in. But look where they are now, though.
It's done that. But trust me, like, this is a very, very, like, it's parallel where Spurs are to where United was with Ten Hag. You have to cut. You have because it's bigger than just the cup. It's the players have now got into a place where not winning is okay. Nobody it's hard to explain. The mentality at Spurs is not one of winning, and the manager has to change. Like, You can't have a manager finishing 16th, winning a cup competition, and that being enough. In no, and United didn't act like a big club when we kept Ten Hag. Can you imagine Real Madrid finishing 16th? And I don't care what they win, the manager's gone.
Look, Real Madrid though, bro, man.
Barcelona, Bayern Munich, any big club around the world, you finish 16th, your manager is gone. Like you can't.
Really, I was finishing 10th at Chelsea.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I understand the big six and the top six and all of that, yeah. But like, come on, man. You said Real Madrid, bro.
But no,
It's not Real Madrid.
I'll be honest with you. I got pelted for this. I said, look, I'm happy to be 10th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look how low that standard is. I'm happy to be 10th. Yeah, we're 16th. Bro,
Am I silly though? Yeah, am I the only one who still thinks if they can get someone who's a defensive coach that can mesh well with him, I feel like he'll do a lot better in the job because it's quite evident what his issue is.
No, but he's not lit. But the thing is, though, Chinks, is Ange don't listen. That's the point. Ange ain't trying to listen to a defensive coach coming in telling him do this and do that. He's like everybody can see. Everybody can see. And we said this at the beginning of the season that if Ange doesn't fix up tactically for certain games, then this is what's going to happen. So it was the most obvious thing that was going to happen. This was always going to happen. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, but you can't be that ignorant. So say, for example, I went to school in East London and I beat up one boy and they told me that he was the best boxing guy in like the borough. I went to boxing and I was beating up everybody. And the coach was like to me every week, like, you need to work on these things. If you don't, you're going to get hurt. And because I was beating everyone up, I was like, who the fuck are you talking to? And then he put me in with someone better than me and he punched me in my nose. And I was like, oh, shit, I don't like this. And I had to readdress and look at everything differently and start to learn stuff. If this isn't the slap in Angie's face to make him realize he don't know everything, he can fuck off. But I'm saying,
but that's the thing, though, Chinks, is the slap in Angie's face happened like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And he's still doing the same.
He's not even getting hit with a different slap. He keeps getting hit with the same slap, and he's not learning, bro.
You know, like in Street Fighter, and everything. Like you're not jumping the Hadouken. You're not jumping the Hadouken. The Hadouken's just hitting your face.
But also, the thing is, I think Tottenham fans got an early indicator of that last season when they played Chelsea. Like it was 1-0. They went down to 9 men, and Ange just didn't give a fuck. He was like, I don't care if we get beat 11-1. We're playing this way, and that's it.
He's trying to remember.
I remember Tottenham fans loving that as well.
I'm loving big Ange instead. You guys were singing it.
Tottenham fans love that mentality at the time. It was like, yes, that's the way we play. I like it
for life.
But also, like another thing that's really bad now is like, what game was it where you guys conceded and like on the bench, Maddison and Son were like, oh, why is it happening every time or something like that? Basically, they just referenced the fact that this keeps happening over and over again. And then there was the game on the weekend when they were smiling on the. I mean, I think that was overblown. Players are allowed to smile.
Yeah, of course.
You're not going to be screw facing off for 90 minutes, but like
they don't care.
Exactly,
but they don't care.
Exactly, there's little things like that where you can see that he's disconnected with the club. Like he doesn't care anymore. You've broken him. So let's talk what Spurs are like. Who remembers in The Simpsons the episode where Hollywood came over to film in The Simpsons and they broke him? And they went back to Hollywood broken. That's what Spurs do to you. That's what Spurs do to you. That's what's happened to Ange. That man is broken. He doesn't even know what he wants.
You know what? It's a sad state of affairs when you've got your own manager cupping his ears like that when you score. That's bad.
He didn't even score. It's disallowed. That was the funniest thing about it.
Offside, it was like, oh, damn it. Oh.
Crazy.
Do people really get annoyed by these people laughing on the bench shit when you lose? Do people really get upset by that?
I would.
No, they was laughing. They got a text about Ancelotti coming to Tottenham.
I would though, Mitch. Be honest, Mitch. You're having a laugh and fucking joke, and I'm on the pitch struggling. I paid 120 quid to watch you cunts, and you're on the bench laughing. Smile off the box. Do that. Do that. Don't just fucking enjoy yourself.
Bare gods, you know.
You can't be having a good. You can't be having a good time.
I imagine Mitch. Yeah, me and you were mates. Yeah, you're going to fight someone, and I'm there watching. He punches you in your face, and you look at me, and I'm smiling. You're gonna be furious. You're gonna be furious.
That just means
I get it.
Too much mandem in the club because that's a mandem team.
I knew Madders was bad vibes. I knew it was. I could just tell he's too fun. I knew.
Look, man, I like Madison still, but I'm going to say this. To back up FaZe, just to make it a bit balanced. Yeah, pause. I ain't backing up on no one. But I reckon you guys are onto something. If we were to win the Europa Cup, the fan base just might just switch. And all of a sudden, we want Ange. He's the best thing. He's our most successful manager ever.
No, you will, not Mike. You will.
Yeah, you will.
Because
Man, will start quoting him. He told you he wins stuff in the second year.
Season.
That's how we are, mate.
Fire.
Fan-funded statues and stuff like that just appearing.
There'll be a statue like that.
Yeah.
You know what?
Holding the kangaroo.
Just here we are, mate.
No, I'll be real. Because listen, when we beat Frankfurt, the fact for me, when I was watching the YouTube, when I was watching other fans, I was wrong about Ange. I was hearing it a lot. Ange, he's gonna do it. Da, 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 da. People were putting out videos that, I think Tottenham can win the Europa League now and you can get it done. That the narrative was completely different. We played Forest. Not even 10 minutes past. 2-0. I said, wait a minute.
But Forest are a good team, though, man.
I'm not saying they're not, but they just brought us back to earth.
Yeah, but people just think they're going to rock up and their name is going to beat the teams. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, these teams are not shit anymore. Like, some of these teams, like Bournemouth on their day, they could maybe give it to anyone. Like, Fulham,
I'm not saying
Brighton, Brentford, like Palace. Look at Palace with us today. Like, the league is mad competitive. People just think that.
All right, cool. All right, boom. Look, check this now. You've got 5 games left, right? 5 games left. Our next game is against Liverpool.
Lost.
Huh? Yeah.
Lost.
Silly me. But you normally win these type of games, though.
Wait. We moved to West Ham, yeah? We're playing West Ham away. That's our
So hold on, sorry. Is your next game actually Liverpool?
Yeah.
Liverpool win the league.
I don't think Liverpool will win the league next season.
Huh?
I mean, I don't think Liverpool will win the league next week. Then I don't think they're going to beat you. I don't know what's going to happen, but for some reason, I don't think they're going to beat you. That's just that's how jammy you guys are.
Liverpool need a draw.
Liverpool need a draw, and Arsenal have to win. I don't even know who Arsenal have got.
No, we've got no one.
If we don't, no, but they're not going to win the league unless they win next week because we drew today.
No, they can draw.
A draw.
They can draw. Liverpool need a point.
But also, Jinx, right? You got to think they've got a semi-final of a European competition coming up, right? You don't beat Liverpool. You don't beat Liverpool unless you leave everything on that pitch. I think how many games have Liverpool lost this year? 2.
Yeah, 2.
2 games, right? So
how many games have Spurs won at Anfield in 70 years? Oh wait. Oh,
none.
Oh,
probably less than 2.
So I don't think Spurs go to Liverpool and say let's leave everything on the pitch to try and win this game that doesn't make the slightest bit of difference for us in the league at the expense of picking up an injury or overworking players that are going to be needed for that semi-final.
Their players, they're going to be on the beach. It's a bit like what you said with Crystal Palace. You could tell that some of the Arsenal players, their mind's a bit somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? It's that extra 5% that you need to win games sometimes, or extra 10% that you can't even help it. You're not doing it on purpose, but it's in the back of your head somewhere, in your unsubconscious. And that's where the drop-off happens. And we typically, even when we've had our best teams, we just don't do well at Anfield. So that's why I'm calling that an L. Then we go to Blint. We've got Blint in between that, our European game in between that. And then we go to West Ham. And then after West Ham, we go back to the Swedish team that we got to play in the semi-final of the Europa Cup. And then after that, we've got, I think it's Aston Villa. We've got...
Fucking hell.
Ash, your lucky relegation's already sorted, mate, or you'd be gone.
Oh, it's paused for dramatic effects right now.
Yeah. So has the relegation been confirmed?
Yeah, all
Over.
three are down, mate.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Oh yeah, look, there's fucking 15-point gap between Ipswich and West
I
Ham.
think if Newcastle beat Ipswich, we confirm their relegation.
Okay, that's fucking painful.
Yeah, can you not hear me now?
Yeah, back.
League and relegation all done this weekend.
No, Ipswich can still mathematically do it.
Yeah, I think if they win every
Well,
game and
Newcastle beat
Newcastle,
them.
West Ham got 36 points, Ipswich got 21, and there's 15 available.
There's only 5 games left.
Yeah,
So
three,
out
six,
of the 5
12,
games we've got West Ham, then Bodo Glimt. So in between that, so let's suppose Tottenham do beat Bodo Glimt and get to the semi-final, innit? I mean, get to the final. Is our heads going to be in the right place against Crystal Palace, against Aston Villa, and against Brighton? And
Does
even
it matter? You're not going down.
yeah, exactly. We're not going down, so like we've got nothing to play for. So out of those next 5 games, we might
Play your first team, Ash.
Huh?
You play your first team in them league games.
Yeah.
It's not gonna
I think
happen.
what,
I don't
you,
think
what are you? I think is what you're trying to say that if you get through and you're in the Europa final and you don't, the team just don't turn up in the rest of the league games, you're going to end on like 22 defeats or something crazy like that.
yeah, we're gonna break a new record.
That is wild to be fair.
That'll be the same. That'll be the same for United. We've already started playing the kids, innit? Like you just play the kids.
Man United can't even get to 22 defeats. It's not even possible.
Yeah.
You've only had 15 so far, and Tottenham have already had 18.
18. We've had 18.
Yeah, but I suppose whether they're defeats or draws, it's the points in it that really kind of matter in it. And look, the league's just looking shocking. There's no point if there's 3 teams already relegated. There's no point in risking anything. You just play your kids.
I don't think
Take
we're gonna.
L's.
I don't even think we're going to play our kids. That's the wickedest thing, and I think that's why a lot of the fan base are being upset because at least give some of the fringe players, some of the academy players a go, which Amram's doing, and let the fans be excited about the future because that's what we've got to hang on to at the moment, without sounding too negative. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you look at Newcastle's youth coming through, looks fantastic. Arsenal, look how great when Yeri and Skelly. I saw Skelly today on the half turn looking amazing in the midfield, driving the ball up the pitch. Chelsea are known for their academy. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool always blood through young players. Look at Bradley, look at Elliott, look at Jones. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's where some of the love has fallen out for this manager because we do have like the likes of Mikey Moore. Now we haven't really seen him since a Europa League Cup tie where he scored a goal, and he's meant to be like one of the best prospects in England setup at the moment. So it's quite hard to, there's loads of fans that do appreciate Ange and what he's doing because he plays the ball forward. He plays attacking style football and he doesn't compromise on his philosophy. And there's a lot to be admired about that. But you've also seen it with Southampton. Their manager got sacked. You've seen it happen with Ipswich, and they're not being able to adapt. You've seen Van Nistelrooy try to play that style of play, and it's not really worked for him. At this level, sometimes you do need to, chop and change, in my opinion. But I mean, too, what do you think? I've seen you've been quite quiet. I think you might have a different take to what I'm
saying. Maybe I'm a bit too old school about it. I do think that leading up to any kind of cup final or anything like that, you should still perform well and keep yourself sharp because then you're kind of relying that on the night I'll show up. It's kind of like you got an exam coming up and you wait to do the revision the night before. For some people it works, but not many. So I'm a bit old school in terms of just like keep your team sharp, keep playing the best you can and being competitive in each game. And yes, you can balance it out. And the final 20 minutes of games, if you've already lost them, for instance, just put on your youth and stuff like that. You've given it a good go for the last 60 minutes. It's cool. But if you allow yourself to get like warped, like continuously before you do that, it's going to be hard to come out of that, and all the negativity and everything that surrounds that. It's going to be hard to just on the day show up. Oh, we're going to turn it around, because then if you get whooped again, it's going to be a really dark cloud to try and overturn.
I think you can do that when you got a big squad.
No, that type of stuff only works for the teams that know how to win.
I mean, when you got a big squad, you can do that. When you've got one player, like, and if that player gets injured, then the whole ship sinks. Do you get what I'm saying? If we try and be competitive in nothing Premier League games, and Bruno gets injured, we are dead. We're dead. Like, literally, that kiss goodbye to any chance of winning the Europa League. So you've got to play the kids and then bring him on in the last 30 minutes and give him minutes that way.
I would say it's different for you than it is for Tottenham, though, Yom, because you've got players that know how to win. Like you've got players in that squad that have won cups over the last few years. That if they need to just show up on the day, they'll show up on the day.
Sorry, that's funny. We got players that know how to win. Cup. I don't know where our next win's coming from.
Yeah, but not in the league. You've been rubbish in the league, but you've won 2 cups in the last 2 years. They can turn up.
If we played in the final, do you think you lose then? Do you think because you don't know?
Why is Jay come on for that question?
Yeah. I'm here.
Jay come on for that question?
I'm here. I'm here ready to listen to your bullshit. I've been lost to us 3 times this season.
We've been on for 2 hours.
Don't say anything silly. You know what I mean? Like, you're amongst friends, but friends can turn to enemies real quick if you start talking about this. You know what I'm saying? How is everything? By the way, I was listening to the show, and Ash was making the point, like, Ash was like, "Man, why is Ange not playing our kids?" Because every Tuesday for 2 hours, you'd be bitching his ass out on stream if he did. You'd be like, why is Ange losing a game again? Bro, we can barely win games with our first 11. Man says, why is Ange not rotating the team to kids?
I cannot.
Pourquoi? Why?
No. I'm not. Listen, look. Let me correct myself because I'm saying why a lot of fans are losing faith in the manager because.
Bro, let me.
I love this Spurs on Spurs violence.
So
it's brilliant. It's beautiful.
Go on.
Let me explain something to you in terms of like why fans are losing faith. Fans would have lost the faith regardless because that's what fans do. Fans lose faith. Like when we had Conte, was everyone not saying the football's too defensive? The football's too defensive. Now we got Ange. The football's too attacking. It's like everyone wants Goldilocks football. Just right. Just right. When we go get Thomas Frank now, they're gonna say he adapts too much. I promise you. You think I don't know my fan base? I know my fan base.
100%.
Thing is that if Ange was to win the Europa League this season, and at the end of it, you say, what did Ange do in his 2 years? You say, well, he finished 5th, coming from 8th, having sold Kane.
Bingo.
Europa League, and he did all of that within 2 years. Do you think there's any Tottenham fan that does not take that?
Jay, let me ask you a question.
Tottenham fan that doesn't take that.
Jay, let me ask you a question. After the weekend is gone,
I was mid cooking, but
doesn't matter.
We're amongst friends.
We're amongst friends. But at the end of each weekend, how many times do you watch the highlights of the Spurs game back?
See,
because when Arsenal were actually trash, I didn't even know what match of the day sounded like anymore. Because I was hurt. And
my match of the day consumption has been sporadic.
Exactly.
The BBC are like, why is our viewership in North London so low?
Bro, seriously, like the knock on my door asking me, do I have a TV license? What to watch Tottenham? I beg. So I was like I've always looked at like when you cups versus league form, I always say it's like joy chopped up versus like big portions of joy versus small bite-sized portions of joy. If your team's flying in the league, every week you're getting a bite-sized portion of joy. What that adds up to is somewhat irrelevant because when you're winning, you're getting X amount of joy. When you win a trophy, as far as I'm aware, because we haven't won one in a while, got to be careful. I see preachers looking at me funny, like, "What do you know about trophies?"
That wasn't just
a large amount of joy.
We're so mean to each other,
You see what I mean, so you get a big amount of joy for winning a trophy, apparently, and you get smaller amounts of joy on a weekly
You
basis.
do get joy, though. You do get joy. It's just
So my thing is merely like, you know, fans are very hypocritical. I want to be balanced. I want to be like, yo, if Spurs win a trophy, if we win the Europa League, it's you know, Ange will be the most successful Tottenham manager for like 70 years.
But does he deserve to be here?
Pardon?
If he wins the trophy, does he deserve? Would you say it would be the right choice to keep him? Not
I say
would that be the right choice?
I say that, like, listen, look at it like this, and I'm not going to say I don't necessarily agree with this, but I'm going to look at it like this, right? How many games have Spurs had their first choice defense available? Just how many games have Spurs actually played with their first choice defense?
I'm going to guess and say about 8.
What it's going to tell me is if you ever watch Barca play or Bayern play or whatever, I'll watch these teams with better players than Spurs. I'll watch Barca under Flick and be like, what is going on here? And that's with top defenders. Yeah? Top defenders, his backline gets breached 3-4 times a game.
Pause.
Yeah? Plenty of times, yeah? Watch Bayern. Plenty of times.
You sound like me last year, Jay.
Exactly.
Bro, but the thing
That
is,
line getting breached is
bro,
absurd.
the thing is, I'm not saying that Ange shouldn't lose his job. What I'm saying is that if you want to turn a blind eye, you can turn a blind eye. Yeah. If fans have chosen at this point already that they don't want to disregard, you know, the semi-final of the cup, the final, winning the Europa League, ideally, they don't want to disregard how poor the league form was in order to focus on that. That's cool. I see where they're coming from. But fans can do that if they want to.
Of course,
fans went into this season saying the most important thing was a trophy, who might get a trophy to turn around and say, actually, it was a trophy and good enough league form. Yeah, if I told any fan, if I went into the season and said, yo, we win the Europa League, but we finish 15th, will you take it? 90% of the fans take it.
Yeah, but Jay, do you know the thing is? Do you know the thing
so now it happens. The fans don't want to take it.
The thing about hanging your hat on a trophy, Jay, yeah, is in essence, you can get to a final and not win the final, and you haven't won that trophy, yeah. So you're judging the manager keeping his job effectively on 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Ten Hag kept his job on a miraculous FA Cup win that nobody saw coming. I didn't even watch the game because I was so sure that City was going to batter us. Right? Ten Hag kept his job based on that 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Like that is
and
such a weak thing.
And Amorim's been worse than Ten Hag.
To be fair, he has.
And you might have been had Amorim had the whole season.
No,
if Amorim had the whole season, you might have got relegated.
But with all due respect, Amorim has a ready-made excuse.
Yeah,
right.
Because
I don't believe
if you want to. That's what I mean about fans. If you want to turn a blind eye to Amorim's form and give him caveats as to why, you can. That's my point. If you don't want to do it for Ange, you don't have to. But don't pretend like Potter didn't get sacked for less than this at Chelsea. Yeah?
But Chelsea's not a good example, though, man. They sack it.
And that's what I'm saying. You have to have, like, for me personally, if a manager's had 2 windows, right? If a manager's had 2 years in a job, is a good measuring, is a good base for how he's going to progress in the future.
Yeah.
Right. He's been backed. He's been given the money. He's been given the players. If he's not performing, well-rounded performance, I'm talking about league and cups, then you have to get rid.
Yeah, but
sorry, hold on, Jay. Do you feel, so as you said, it's 2 years. The first year we could say he kind of overachieved. Am I doing it? Considering he lost Kane. No, but he finished in top. Where did he finish last season?
He finished 5th.
That's good for me. Is that not a good for a first year in the league?
That's a
That's
more than
solid.
first
I would
season.
say it's okay. I wouldn't say it's overachieved.
Hold on, but we
Yeah,
finished
but
eighth the season before.
and losing Kane and what everybody
We finished
expected them
eighth,
to
and we
do.
lost Kane, and we finished fifth.
So I
Obviously,
that's good, yeah.
Yeah.
This season has been atrocious. So don't you think he's warranted at least a third or some of the third to kind of see? Because we're just doing a recency bias thing, no?
Hold on,
Trophies.
let me hold on. Let me just ask Ash one question quickly.
Go on,
Ash,
go on.
going into this season, yeah,
Yeah.
we had conversations, and you said to me that you thought the squad was light,
NAF.
right? You
got-
told me the squad was light going into the season, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah,
Before the season started, you said the squad wasn't good enough. We lost too much experience. It was too young.
yeah,
Cool.
Yeah.
On top of that horrific injury
right.
list that we had,
Mhm.
and the fact we were in all competitions because
Yeah.
we didn't get knocked out of anything, still in League Cup, doing Europe, everything.
Yep.
You knowing that the squad was light,
Mhm.
us then playing, a stretched squad and also having multiple injuries.
Yep.
That's not an excuse for why Andrew's form is so bad, but surely it gives you a decent amount of asterisks to say, you know what, that like we came into this season unprepared.
Mhm.
Everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
But Jay, why didn't you have this energy for Ten
The
Hag?
manager's been fully exposed because
He did it as well.
the players
I
he's had
did.
missing have exposed him, his limitations tactically. It doesn't mean that he doesn't.
I hear what you're saying.
He's exposed in a greater way than he would have been had we done business properly and had.
Yeah.
And that's the point I'm trying to say is that like
Jay, I was called Mr. Context.
yeah.
That's what man them called me. They said I'm Mr.
But,
Context.
but let me answer. Let me answer though, innit? Because Jay's brought up a big point, and it's about being backed potentially. Was he backed properly? Was he backed sufficiently enough to perform into the second season? So I'm saying this after doing more research, and I looked at and I know you're not gonna like this, but I looked at Bielsa, and
I said the resemblance between Bielsa.
I did but I know it's one thing you saying it, and then for me to go and research into
All
it
right, yeah.
is completely different because I was Anjin at that point. Do you understand? I was Anjin at a certain point, and then I think for me, when I started doing a bit more research on, I wouldn't say not just the training, but it's the style of play and what he expects of the players. He does something called murder ball. That's what Bielsa used to do.
Mhm.
And when I heard Ange talk about the training, I was like, oh my goodness, it's exactly the same. And I saw what happened to Leeds in live. Then I'm seeing Ange. And then also I saw the trend as well, what was happening with Man City. So I'm not just going to isolate Spurs. I just saw the way the Premiership was going. I was like, uh-oh. Pep already identified. He said, we need to be a bit more like the Newcastles, the Brightons.
Yeah.
We need to be more, so I think he identified that, being played through the middle is a bit too easy, a bit too open. We need to switch things up and we need to know when to change. I saw that and I thought, there might be some trouble here. And I think other teams have cottoned onto it, meaning that they've seen how to beat Spurs and they've got the blueprint and they pass it on to their mate. The next coach has gone and he's done the same. And we're not doing anything about it, regardless of what team he's putting out. So if you know that you might suffer a high amount of injuries, or you don't have your starting 11 style football, maybe look at the profiles or look at the now.
But the thing is, he doesn't have it in him. He doesn't that's the problem
This
with
is
Ange.
this is where
I get it because my thing with Ange is
God.
He has shown that he is in a situation and time when things haven't gone well, or that in the context of just when shit's going down, Ange hasn't shown to me that he's somebody that can steer the ship. But Spurs is a club where shit will always be going down. Do you see what I mean? So it's I'm okay with us saying thank you. We have to go for somebody else because of X, Y, Z limitations, out of possession, the build up from the back, how we progress the ball.
Yeah.
Like, there's lots of specific reasons why I'll say I think we could do better. But calling them a fraud, that, blah blah blah.
Listen,
It's
I'm
like-
not on that. I'm not on
no,
that.
I'm not saying you are. I'm just like,
Yeah.
all of these managers are good coaches. Do you
Yeah.
see what I mean? Just because something doesn't work out with a man, like Emery didn't become a crap coach because it didn't work at Arsenal. He's still a good coach. Do you know what I mean? If Emery had been allowed to finish the Arsenal season, where the hell would Arsenal have finished?
15th.
Do you see what I mean? So the thing is that sometimes people.
I hate Emery.
Me too.
Sorry.
No, but you guys were on a downward spiral when Emery got sacked. Imagine if your board said, "Nope, we're keeping Emery all season, no matter what." Yeah,
I'd have cried.
you guys could have been exactly where we are.
Do you understand?
We lost the final 4-1, man.
Do you understand phase now?
But we lost the semi-final 4-0. It happens.
Listen, talk to me when you get 30 shots on goal by 30 shots by Watford.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
was really a
bro,
broke
we conceded
Watford.
4 goals to Wolves, man. We've done
Yeah,
some
but
stuff.
not
We lost
30
at home to Leicester. Leicester have won one game in 16. It was against Tottenham.
Too
Like,
long.
we've done some stuff this season.
Yeah, it's mad. Liverpool for me was the worst.
Yeah, we went to extra time with Tamworth. We've done some stuff.
Five goals in 20 minutes. That's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. That was mad.
And don't you remember too that time?
Wenger lost 8-2, bro.
What's that?
That time when Liverpool played Spurs. You remember what we were saying to them? And we was asking them about the aura because they were free. No, it went against Liverpool. It was against Man United. And they were 3-0 up, innit? And even at that time there, we didn't even feel like that the game was a wrap.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Do you remember? And we were saying from then, the aura around Spurs, you lot should be worried. You didn't listen.
I knew Spurs were cursed when, do you remember, walk way back when they played Man City in the FA Cup, and when it's 3-0 up, Man City went down to 10 men and Man City beat them 4-3 and John Macken scored a goal in the last minute.
Wow.
I knew this club was cursed.
But fate is fate. It's fate and destiny. Yeah. And the thing about fate, I want to only be positive. I want to say
you can sell salt to a slug, you know that.
Nobody really says it was his destiny to die. They'll be like, it was his fate to die. So our destiny, is wrapped up in this competition. Because the thing about Spurs is, suffering is what we do. Yeah. And it wouldn't think about it. Think about it. In order for us to win a trophy, would it not make sense for us to have been through the most amount of suffering we could have gone through in the season before we actually then win the trophy? It makes sense, even to the point of
this is crazy.
Playing Liverpool, winning the first leg, and getting absolutely pulverized in the second leg. Just to give you that hope again that you might be able to do something, just to take it back. To play Frankfurt and draw the first game and think you're probably not going to win. We're probably going out. To then go away and put in your best performance this season and knock out the third place team in Germany. Just to make
just gave one of those
that
man them
that's what I'm saying.
Any given Sunday.
That's the usual part of the story.
Out here like Randy Orton, hearing voices in my head. That's what I'm saying, guys.
On the flip side, Jay,
he's back here as well.
On the flip side, Jay, could all of this stuff could be leading to build you up just to have more pain?
In the final,
when Bono did lock up these random
remember the Champions League,
and you've done all that to get there.
This competition this time, there's even when it started and there was no Champions League drop down teams and stuff like that, and you look at the roster of teams in the Europa League, and I'm like, we're the best team here, And I thought we were the best team here. When the competition started, I said, I think we're the best team in this competition.
Let's
see at the end if we're the best team in the competition. But on paper, we're the best team in this competition.
That's like your mother.
I ain't shook a Bilbao. Yeah, United are gonna deal with them. United are gonna deal with Bilbao, and then we're gonna 4-peat United this season. Because my thing is that We're not like.
Been warned you.
Hey, Ash, have you got what's that app called? Clip? Is it called Clip? What's it? How do you clip it?
Clip this.
It's or whatever
Clip
it's called.
Bro, haven't we beaten Amorim twice this season already? How many times do we need to teach you this lesson, old man? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Do you know what would be the? Do you know what? And do you know what? I'm shamelessly going to pull out the word.
He was going to say
You know what would be the most Spursy thing ever? Would be to beat United 3 times and then lose to us when it matters.
I thought you were going to say heritage. I was
going for the heritage.
Spursy thing ever.
And do you want to know? Do you want to know what would be the most Man United thing 2025 ever? It's for us to
win and somehow get the
financial
Champions League.
abyss that you guys have been sitting on with Ineos. That would be so United 2025. Yeah, let's beat you.
I realized
I've never seen an era. Sorry, I've never seen an era where Spurs could talk to United like this. I'm telling you, never.
This is what I'm saying.
Scholes era, Beckham era, bruv. I've never.
Jay thinks he's Thanos. I've realized.
No, but it's
I
all
listened
over,
to him. He thinks it's Thanos. He's calling this one.
No, I'm saying this in general. It's not.
Bro,
way
that man-
Spurs talk to United is like.
Bro,
the little brother just is.
listen.
What's the bigger brother? Let a big
No. Jay
about me, yeah.
One second. Jay said, "Run from it, dread it.
Yeah.
Destiny arrives none the way." My guy, you're Spurs. You support Spurs. Your destiny.
But you know why? But remember, I'm a Liverpool fan, yeah. So I believe him because I think Man United are just gonna keep dropping anyway. Still, so it might be a thing where
Spurs will win it.
But preach.
I'd
United
love
have
it.
been dropping for 10. They've been dropping
We have
for
to do
10
an
years.
emergency stream if
We've been
Spurs
dropping
win.
for 10 years, right?
I know.
Maybe 11 or 12. But we are still picking up stuff along the way.
Yeah.
Are we
And
going to
this
do
is-
the watch along if you guys do the final?
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
I can't watch it.
I'm with that.
I can't watch it.
Listen,
Has to be done.
I hear what you're saying, and I think the thing is
I've never supported Liverpool in my life except for that Champions League final. I was a top red that Champions League final. Right?
That is up there with friends like Steve, like Gerrard and Henry. Was like
Olu,
I was
1-0 down like 2 minutes in, bro.
I know that's when I realized like this is Spurs. I was like, what am I worried about? What am I worried about?
yeah, no, but you say that, but like at the end of the day, like we're gonna. I'm obviously worried about big game Bruno. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you guys know how I feel about Bruno Fernandes. It would be apt if he was the one to put the dagger in my back, but hopefully,
You know what Man United are like though? Who's watched Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Of
You
course.
know the part where like Gandalf like sends that massive demon down the tunnel and you think like down the bridge and you think he's dead.
Yeah, and he
Whips
grabs
out a whip and he pulls it back in.
Yeah.
And literally they got Satan on their badge as well. So it's like it's so suitable for them. Like,
Hey, bro, listen, United, like United. If we get United in a final,
I would love it.
I don't know how they'll set up against us. Like I feel like if they try and just play the game, like, hey, we're gonna play this game and we're gonna try and win, we'll beat them. We'll beat them.
You know what's funny?
They're gonna have to do some sort of tactical.
hey Yoms, why are you quiet though, bro? Why are you quiet like that, bro?
Bro, do you know? Have you ever been in a really fast car at the lights, and then not even a new Mini, a Mr. Bean Mini is revving up next to you, and you're thinking, why are you revving up? What can't I see here? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and there's no point. You know, like sometimes when you talk, right? Before you talk, you just have to think, will I be wasting words here?
No, you know what, Yoms? I'm gonna get. You know, I have to say this, because this happened to me this week. I was driving my car, and there was a girl running for the bus in it, and the car in front didn't let her cross. She was like shouting and swearing, and then I drove by, and I was not gonna let her stop in it. And then I thought, you know what? I can't be out there arguing with people who run for buses.
Hey, that's cold. That is cold. That is cold.
But listen, the Yoms, it's all very cute.
Oh,
I think it's cute, the deflection that you're doing, because the thing is that
Oh, you're still doing it, Jay?
no, I'm just saying that my point is that we're both 3 games away from glory, whether you like it or not. This isn't the idea. You can't fob me off like I'm talking like it's the summer. It's not the beginning of the campaign. You know, we've got Bodo Glimt, you've got Bilbao, and the winner of these 2 ties are going to play in a European final in less than a month. That's it. So,
do you know what's funny? Do you know what's funny?
You want to say right now about?
I've told you what I think.
We'll see you in the final.
I've told you what.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah,
we'll see you in the final.
We'll meet you on the pitch. We'll meet you on the pitch, innit? Like
bro,
you said,
we'll
innit?
see, bro. We'll see.
You lot be careful, you know.
That's what I was gonna say is I actually don't know. I actually don't know if either of us will make the final. If I'm totally honest, Bodo Glimt are a good team. Right, and we all know Bilbao.
On your logic, Jay, after all this hype talk about being in the final,
bro, we need to do our job. Bro, just do our job.
Nah, this is a bottle job.
No red tat.
This is a bottle job.
European Cup final.
Jay, you talked your way into a bottle job.
No, but fans do that though. I got Arsenal fans talking like we've won the champs already.
That's what I'm trying to say. I got Arsenal fans talking like you ain't got PSG. I saw Saliba looking shaky out there.
Imagine how I
download the new downloadable
all of a sudden European football is the best thing.
Packaging. Hold on.
European football's the best thing right now.
But yeah, so the point is, listen, we're all close to greatness, yeah?
Oh my goodness.
You don't get to say you're close to greatness. I'm sorry.
Why not? Am I not close to greatness?
Close to relegation.
Why are people not allowed to get excited when you get to a semi-final?
Being close to relegation and close to greatness in the same season is crazy.
No, Jay, let me say something. Let me say something real quick, right? I know you've got to play where you are, but the Europa League is not a league, not a cup that you want to be in. A second grade, by definition, second grade trophy is never close to greatness. Winning the Europa League does not bring you close to greatness. In fact, the fact that the prize is to get into the Champions League shows you that it's not a great cup to win. You don't get to be 16th and say it's not great.
No, but you know what? As a Man U fan, he's permitted to have this attitude. To be honest,
it's not
They haven't won it that much.
Because
but they've won the big airs.
We have to see where the Spurs see.
Europa League is the biggest trophy that Man United have won in the last 10 years. It is the biggest trophy you've won. So
it doesn't make it great. It doesn't make it great.
It doesn't make it great to you. He's saying he's saying that you used to get
Europa League is bigger than the FA Cup.
He's saying that you used to get.
Doing it?
Doesn't make it great. Is it the FA Cup, the League Cup, and the Europa League are not great.
Wait.
Deep the word you're saying. You're saying great.
No, but it's all relative though. As a Man U fan, he's permitted to have this attitude.
And arguably, the FA Cup is harder to win than the Europa League.
The League Cup's harder to
win. The League Cup is harder to win than the Europa Cup.
I give you that.
Because what I'm saying, so I don't know how we're saying. I'm just saying. I don't know how we are 14th and 16th, winning by definition a B grade trophy.
A B grade trophy. Now it's a B grade trophy.
Because then that way Newcastle can flex up for winning the championship.
Just,
It's by definition a B grade.
I
It's
saw
by definition
Newcastle
a B
doing
grade
conga
trophy.
lines for winning the
How
league.
did you get here?
Am I going mad here?
Let's
Am I the
not
only one
even
that can't
let's
see?
not even start.
Jay,
The
everywhere.
Champions
harder
League
to win.
trophy. Period.
The Europa League is a B grade trophy.
Champions
Nah,
League is harder to win than the
okay,
Champions
so
League.
why are people mocking Spurs for not winning trophies then?
Because it's
everything-
Spurs.
everything's a B grade trophy now. We
No,
win
I
it.
don't
No.
What's
No.
the point?
Jay,
Oh,
I just
we
said
got-
FA Cup.
It literally is though.
Right?
One-
It
I just wanna
literally
know-
is. It's
I just
literally
want
a
to know
B grade
why.
trophy.
I want to know why or how the League Cup is harder to win than the Europa League.
So this
Because
year,
that's all I heard.
right, for this year,
That's all I heard.
we beat Liverpool. We
Ollie,
beat Liverpool in the final.
They're not in the.
We
they're not
beat Arsenal twice in the semi-final. We beat Chelsea in the quarterfinal. We
There's
beat
Champions
Nottingham.
League teams in the
We
league.
beat Nottingham
So what
Forest
happened is you
away.
had
True.
so you had a difficult route.
Yes. So this year,
Because
the
there's been
League Cup was
people
harder
that have
to
had a
win.
very, very easy route.
No,
Yes.
but the fact preaches
Europa
that
League,
there
there's
are
not
Champions League. There are Champions League teams, right? More than one Champions League teams in
League Cup.
the League Cup and the FA Cup. There are no Champions League teams in the Europa Cup.
No
in the
anymore.
Europa
Yeah.
Cup, you've got in the Europa Cup, you've got no relegation level teams in there. That's the minimum greatness in Europa Cup. Doesn't even touch relegation.
No. That's not true
Yeah,
because
but the floor
because-
might be lower, but the
wait.
ceiling's so much higher in
You
the
can't-
League Cup.
other than the cup, which are like passes, get out of jail passes, you can't get into Europe without playing good.
Ollie disagrees. Go on, Ollie.
Preach.
Go on.
the reason why I disagree is this though, is that like also it doesn't take into account the form of the team during that season as well, right? So you can again we've seen in the Europa League, you can be 15th, 16th in your league and still make it through to the quarterfinals, semi-finals, right? So it doesn't really matter where you finish the season before, you can still be having poor season. But also as well, let's be real. Prior to the change, you were playing teams where your Wi-Fi password was the name of their team. Like you're going to stadiums where there are trains in front of the pitch. Like Europa League, like let's be real. Until the teams like dropped out from the Champions League, got into it.
Exactly.
No one wanted to be in there.
It's a B grade. It's by definition a B grade. To win the FA,
That's like me saying in the League Cup, you play teams that your Oyster card can't even reach.
And that's
Like,
the
you
Europa.
can't-
That's the Europa.
No,
Europa
what
League.
I'm saying is in the League Cup. I'm saying look what teams are in the League Cup.
Yeah.
You're not just talking about the top six in the whole country. The whole country's in the League Cup.
what I'm saying though, alright, what I'm saying though,
I'm saying in Europa, you've got mid-table teams in their divisions.
yeah, but
All
what
the
divisions are like? If realistically, right? Preach
Yeah, what
to win the
divi-
FA
what
Cup. To win the
divisions
FA
are
Cup.
in the
To win the FA Cup, right? United had to beat Arsenal.
No, but that's because
Had to beat Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool.
Oh, Yoms,
Right.
this is
That's
hilarious.
the-
To win the FA Cup.
Yoms,
But you
tell
don't
me.
have to, what I'm saying is you don't have to play
Yeah,
that
Yoms.
level all the time.
Yoms,
Europa is a different level. It's European football, so it's that level of Europeanness. You're talking about FA Cup, which has got a lower level. You could have a League Two team in there, or even them FA Blue
Yoms,
and conference teams are in there. Balham FC.
But you're talking about leagues. You're talking about leagues that are not comparable to the Premier League, though.
But you're saying it's harder to win, yeah. And I'm saying the only reason, sorry Jay, the only reason why those things are harder to win, just because of the top teams in England, just because of let's just say the top six.
But does it not show
That's,
you?
that's
Preach,
what makes
that
the League Cup hard to win.
Okay, but
yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. So doesn't it
No,
show
but
you
what I'm
because
saying is, out of
we've
all
got
the
a team that's 14th and 16th.
bro,
but
hold on,
in 3
Yoms,
games.
no,
It's not hard to
I
win
really need
for-
to ask this question now, Yoms. Yoms, answer me this, yeah. You just said, tell me that again. Who did you have to win to win? Who did you have to beat to win the FA Cup? Just say that again.
Liverpool, City, and Arsenal.
You beat who?
The top
Liverpool,
three
City,
last season.
Newcastle, City, Arsenal. And what was your reward for winning the FA Cup?
Going into the Europa League.
Okay, then. So you
What's your
had
point?
to do all of that to qualify for the Europa League, yeah? So you
Right,
look
what's
at the
your point?
Europa League as a one-season thing. I look at it as what did you have to do to get there? And why is that discounted when you talk about the
Jay,
quality?
that's just the choice. That's just the choice of the football league who they nominate, who the
No,
English football league nominate to go into
Premier League champions in a one-off game.
That does not make it harder to. That does not make it
You're
harder
not
to
going
win the
turn
Europa
around
League.
and tell me that.
So you're saying that because of the prize of winning the FA Cup is going into the Europa League, it makes
we
it
have
more
to finish
difficult.
above Newcastle, Chelsea, all of these sides over a 38-game season to qualify for the Europa League as well. There's only me and you that made it. No one else made the Europa League. It was just United and Spurs out of the whole of England. The only two representatives.
That's just because
and
of the
now
way
we're in the semi-finals.
You're being disingenuous. You're going to
turn around and tell
That's
me this
disingenuous.
Prestigious. Because you want to look back at yesteryears. You want to watch Premier League.
Jay, you're being disingenuous. And you're doing that thing. You're doing that thing where you don't let somebody speak. You're doing that thing where you don't let somebody speak.
Right? Let them speak.
The fact that the Football League have said this is who we're going to nominate, these are the positions, or this is the cup competition that you win to go into the Europa League, doesn't make it harder for the Europa League doesn't make it harder to win the Europa League. The fact that you winning the FA Cup puts you in the Europa League doesn't mean that the Europa League is harder to win than the FA Cup. That's one, because the teams that are coming into the Europa League, like Preach said, are mid-table teams. Hold on, let me finish. Are teams that are coming from mid-table teams in Europe, right?
Minimum,
right? But those leagues are not comparable to the Premier League. The fact that you've got a team that is 14th and a team that's 16th in the Premier League in semi-finals of that competition, which is by definition
the majority of winners.
Hold on. Let me finish, right? And this is what I was saying, right? The original point Jay made is that it's a great competition. It's not great.
I didn't say that.
No, my question.
I didn't say that at all. I say it's a precision.
You're on mute.
No, you didn't use the word precision. You said
you're close. You said you're close to greatness.
You said you're close to greatness. You literally said greatness, Jay. You literally said you're close to greatness. You literally said you're close to greatness.
I swear on my mother's life, I said the Europa League.
I'm not arguing that.
I never said it was more difficult to win.
No, but you said because you know what's happening. You lot are making Yoms argue Toon's point, because remember all Yoms said that is the Europa League is a B-tier competition, which is actual fact.
It's a B grade competition, and you don't get to win a B grade competition and say you've done greatness.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
And you know what proves it? Yeah, because if you look at I think it was Daniel said to Olu in the chat, yeah, Olu's being rather cocky about the Europa League and he's never won it. When the fact is, we won the Intercities Fair and the Cup Winners' Cup, which is the Europa League now. But
I don't think that's the same lineage.
But in terms of now modern, because it's been abolished, it's the same equivalent. And
Cup Winners' Cup is the conference.
I'm literally on Google now. Look, Europa League. Since the abolition, you're just speaking over me. Since the abolition of the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup, the UEFA Super Cup, previously placed reserved for the Cup Winners' Cup winner, has been taken by the winner of the UEFA Cup. Now the UEFA Europa League. This is literally Google.
Because we always had a UEFA Cup.
But the first
is the Europa League.
But the first cup, right, was actually what preceded the UEFA Cup at the times.
That's what we're saying.
They merged both of them together to make the UEFA Cup, which is why if you go by UEFA will say Arsenal have actually got a European title because of that.
The UEFA Cup and the Cup Winners' Cup ran at the same time at one point.
They did.
But this is my point, though. Nobody cares about the accolade. We're still being disrespected. So you can't class it as greatness. If I say we've done European greatness, you lot are all gonna laugh at me.
Right, but Chinks, right? It's like WWE, right? So imagine you've got the world title and you've got the Intercontinental title. Arsenal won the European title. Yeah. Like that's how it was. That's
what's that? The Intercontinental, you mean?
No, Intercontinental is the UEFA, and the world title is the Champions League. You won the European title. Yeah, it ran for X number of. Do you know what I mean? It ran.
I'm
for
confused.
X number of years.
Nah, he's
He won the Intercontinental. He just said
Yeah,
that.
it wasn't the Intercontinental title.
It was.
No, what was the first? What was the first one you said that was
The metaphor
WWE?
again. Start again with the metaphor, basically.
So basically, I'm saying right. So in WWE, they had the world title and they've got the Intercontinental title.
The world title is
the B tier, and the world title is obviously the world title. Now, the Cup Winners' Cup, was a competition that ran for X number of years.
No, but we're arguing about the
but it's not the same lineage as the Intercontinental belt. It's like a belt they brought in for it's like the hardcore. You won the hardcore title.
Right, so you know what? Let's use this exact same analogy to back up Yoms' point. So if you're talking to Yoms, who's won the world title and is a world champion, you can't win the Intercontinental and speak about greatness to him. You're not allowed to do that.
But if I win the Intercontinental title as a fucking mid card WWE,
oh, so relative greatness then,
that's
relative
greatness.
to you.
I'm holding the title.
So what you're saying is it's greatness for Spurs.
Yeah, bingo. Yeah.
So what you're saying is it's greatness for Spurs.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah, you are.
Okay. So you took the word
in the moment,
so out of context, as in like
in the moment.
If like achieving something great, like well done. Yes, I'm like it's
GCSE.
like a figure of speech. It's like a figure of speech.
It really does.
Winning the European trophy for the first time in 70 years isn't greatness for Tottenham. Of course, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, but then for Man United, a man can shit on it.
This is what I'm saying. It's by definition a B grade. The fact that you've got two European competitions. One is the top echelons. That is, to me, that is greatness. Yeah. If you win the Champions League, that's greatness. People in the Champions League don't even want to be in this competition.
We don't want to be in it. We don't
want to be in it.
Like I said, winning the Conference League is great.
No, hold on, Jay. No, Jay, you're not allowed to do that. If Yoms can't shit on you for winning the Europa, you can't shit on the conference for winning it. Because it's the same thing.
Bro.
Has West Ham achieved greatness?
I might have to.
Has West Ham achieved greatness?
West Ham, yeah, that's greatness.
Listen. I agree.
Wait a minute.
It's not greatness for you.
Hold on. I just want to read the super chat. That's all. I'll get a super chat in.
Jeez.
Big up, right, though, boy.
He's not even there no more. He's not even there no more, I think.
Yeah, but still, I'll read it out anyway. Last time we played Bodo Glimt, he lost, by the way. Big up. And also, please make sure you like and subscribe.
Can you get a star on your shirt for Europa?
Wow, this is what I was doing.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
In the competition.
Or when you wear it when you're playing in that competition, but nowhere else.
Because you said how much you won it. I'm sure I think I saw it.
Even if they just embroider the hem, you know, like
even if it's a sticker.
I'll be dead real. I'll be honest with you. I think the UEFA Cup has more weight than the Europa League, in my opinion.
They're the same fucking.
It don't exist no more.
But it did. It was a better competition back then because you had the teams from you'd had the FA Cup winners, and then the teams from the third team in England would be in the competition. It was a better tournament.
It was better.
Yeah. And even when it was better, we could still refer it as a B tier.
Yeah. It was still the second European tournament. You still had the European Cup or the Champions League.
Even when teams used to drop out of the Champions League and go into the Europa League, right? You might have to beat a Barcelona, or you might have to beat not necessarily a Barcelona, but you might have to beat an Atletico, or you might have to beat like an AC Milan on their decline to win that league. Now we're talking about Bodo Glimt, bruv.
Everyone chill.
Jesus Lord.
Somebody pull up the Champions League table from this season.
If Bodo Glimt was in the Premier League, they're getting relegated.
From 16 to 24. Because you're all waffling. Yeah,
it is.
What teams would have dropped into the Europa League, had they done it like that? So everyone can just shut up.
Or from 16.
Any of these teams.
There's 36 teams, Jay. This is crazy.
But it would have if we did it the other way.
From 16.
Top 8
What does it always say?
Benfica. So Benfica at 16.
24 would have dropped into the
Continue.
Europa League.
Continue.
Benfica 16, Monaco 17, Brest 18, Feyenoord 19, Juventus 20.
They're watching you. Watching you.
Bro, I swear to God, all of these teams are catching hands. Every single one. Two of these teams, bro.
Not slots.
These teams are catching hands, but we're losing to Ipswich.
Like guys are laughing like we didn't just put Frankfurt out of Europe. Like, we didn't just put Frankfurt out of Europe. Like,
Don't get Jonathan now. Yeah.
First one
You'll have to pull out the 9.
Teams who are just equally up and down. None of these teams, maybe Man City, but we've even dropped 4 on their head this season. We beat them at home in the cup. Who says we don't put City out over 2 legs? We maybe could put City out over 2 legs. We've beat them home and away this season. Let's not like I'm just saying. Do you know what I mean? I see Lazio, who are head and head with Juventus in the Italian league. Did they not just get their wig split by some Norwegian builders?
Jay, you're just reinforcing my point, though, Jay. You're just reinforcing my point why it's B grade. Because if you think you're going to the Champions League and you're doing that to the top team in the Champions League, you're having a barney.
Go to the Champions League.
If you think you're going to the Champions League,
teams drop into the Europa League. Now I need to go to the Champions League.
If you think you're going to the Champions League,
stop moving the goalposts.
No, I'm not moving the goalposts. I'm not moving the goalposts because what you're doing is you're taking the teams that when I said about the teams dropping out, it was a completely different method of playing the Champions League. Then it's a completely different makeup. The Champions League then was you had tables. Now you had groups. Right. If you think you're going into a group stage with the top teams in the Champions League and making it through, you're having a laugh, mate.
Brother, we've played a Champions League final in the last 5-6 years. You know, you act like I've never been here before. I've been here before. Nah. I know what time it is.
Yeah, don't talk like 16th. Don't talk like 16th is not uncharted territory. It's uncharted territory. You have never been this poor. You've never been this shit. I've never been this shit. Let's just stop pretending, bro.
If you make it to Bilbao, you can tell all the stories you want about how you don't want to win that B grade trophy that might save the future trajectory of Ineos's football team. Me, on the other hand, destined for greatness.
Jay, the only reason any team wants to win the Europa League is to get into the Champions League.
Oh, no.
By definition. Listen, they can leave that trophy there. If it was take the trophy or go into the Champions League, I'll go into the Champions League.
I don't agree with that
personally.
Listen, Jay saying all this.
Man, you fan can say that though.
Jay saying all this just to get beaten by Bodo Glint is crazy.
Bro, listen.
How many times have you won the UEFA?
Bro, listen. You Olu, yeah. All I'm gonna say is, just focus on doing what you need to do in Europe. Because listen, in this stream, we're amongst friends. I'll give Chinks the benefit of the doubt, calling whatever that thing you guys won a European trophy. No problem. You're amongst friends. But in life and social and the rest of us, if Spurs win a European trophy before Arsenal, you'll hear about it.
Call the police. Somebody call the police. It's late.
All I'm saying is
I'm just saying, Olu.
What do you lot think about that?
I say, Jay, it won't matter, yeah? I'll tell you why.
Hey,
Liverpool's been going through that argument with Arsenal for years.
Yeah.
Before we won the league, we would say we won the European before you. They say we won the league before you. So it don't matter if you win it. You're gonna chat, and it's just gonna mean nothing.
Listen,
Liverpool and Arsenal have been doing that war until we won it with Klopp. That was the main argument between Liverpool and Arsenal.
Understood.
Oh, you ain't won the league.
All I'm saying, if it happens, all I'm saying is Putin, King Jong-un, blow it all up. Let's just finish this.
Here's my advice, yeah. Just enjoy. If you win it, enjoy it. Just enjoy it. Don't go for no one, because that's how you mess it up. Yeah. Don't go for no one. Just enjoy it. Because drink, food, all of that. Don't
Yeah,
fire no.
I'd say the worst people to pick a fight with is Arsenal fans because we have no shame whatsoever. Zero shame.
It will rain on your parade. You get me? So
No, but it's still good for Spurs, though. I would even take a Europa
Honestly,
league at the moment, but I'm not going to sit here and say it's greatness, though. That's the only thing I disagree with.
Yeah, that's the only
thing I disagree with.
You know what? Happy days, and if you win anything about happy days, enjoy it, eat gel off, all of that. But say you've done greatness, bruv. Fuck you, no.
We've won it 3 times, bruv. Trust, man.
Jay got lost in the sauce, man. Jay got.
He did. That was trauma. That was trauma, Oli. That was trauma.
Newcastle won time. It's something that you couldn't win. It's something that Arteta had multiple swings at and couldn't win. Yeah,
no, this is the difference, though. This is the difference. You said a fact. And I have no choice but to agree with it.
Yeah,
but Yom said a fact, and we've been battling it for very long. I'm just saying.
That's fact, bro. If you choose to accept the limitations of reality, that's a you problem. Yeah, I'm like, I have alternative facts. Similar to real facts, but just have a little bit more, you know.
Nuance. We've got some nuance on that.
You're talking girl out of her knickers, you know. You can't leave nothing around this bloke. I'm telling you.
On that note, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna do some but it's late, man. It's late. We've done.
I've laughed too much.
But big up for everyone joining the chat. Big up panel as well. I've got nothing left to say. But listen, I want the football to do the talking now because we've said a lot. We said a lot today, but it's been fun. It's been enjoyable. Any final words from anyone before we head out, man?
Yeah, I refuse to jump on next week. Big up, Big Preach. I'll give you a round of applause. I ain't gonna be here when man adds another one of those things to his background. You man done greatness.
Preach, can you add it? Could you turn it up to 20 live?
Yeah,
have to be here.
Yeah, I'll try. I'll see.
So I'll see what I can do here.
I'm busy. I'm washing my hair next week.
Don't do that. Don't like that type of attitude at your club, bruv.
I'll just say this, yeah. Actually, one thing. When Liverpool win it, if I dare see a guard of honor by those Arsenal players,
they better fucking not.
I will fly and kick them. Listen.
No, we don't like that attitude.
4 losers. That's what I want. I want 4 losers. I don't want good, nice losers.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something why you shouldn't be like that, yeah? Thierry Henry and Gerrard would shake hands, bruv. Yeah? So you don't lose the spirit of who you are.
Nah, fuck that. I was under Wenger, man. Fuck that, man. Fuck that Wenger niceness,
Gerrard,
man.
You know, Thierry and Henry. What am I saying? Thierry Henry and Gerrard shook hands.
I want Mamba mentality. I want the Mamba mentality. I want a Michael Jordan. I want that Michael Jordan mentality.
We would have clapped for you.
Listen,
fire for that, man.
Arteta's the sort of madman who will be like, it will be character forming for your players. I don't want you to ever feel like this ever again. You know what I mean? That's what
maybe not saying on the you will never walk alone.
Arteta's going to be like, you will go and you will clap and you will feel it. And
I remember this day.
Yeah. That's what bullshit Arteta would do.
It's funny because it's true.
You fucking better not.
You can hear it now, innit?
I need to hear that. Yeah. When I lose a duel, I'm upset. I want all of that. I don't want this friendly shit, man. He better not. He better fucking not.
And this is your mind.
Yeah. As me and Mitch are the representatives of a club that's actually won a trophy this year.
Shameless.
I want to thank the panel and everybody that's here. So
shameless.
And he was a woman beater.
Toon as well. Toon
was salty recently. He don't want Spurs taking all his shine when we win the Europa League.
He said when first.
He said when.
That was great. Toon, do you know who Toon reminds me of? Warren G, bro. He delivers that gangster shit in such a smooth way as well. There's no aggression. It's all fucking smooth, bro. Fuck's sake.
And I'd just like to highlight how we brought up trophies. Last season, I was allowed to put up trophies.
Mercy side from the LBC. In need for some desperate help.
That is big. I'm gonna go home. Oh boy, right now. Okay, man. Hey, big up you, man.
Look, big up, man.
Big up everybody.
Big up.
Big up, Oli. Oi,